You got to lend me your ears, and I will try to sing you a song. If the feelings wash over me, and I try not to sing out again. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Destination road. That is the place my spirit roams. The place of dead roads. And that is the place I call my home. Welcome to the show. And Superman, he ain't got nothing on me. Lend me your ears, and I try not to sing out of key. Welcome to the show. All right, now that the musical number's over and I've scared everyone away, we'll go ahead and start things. All right, it's gonna be one of those nights. Decided to fire one up at the last second. Like, fuck it, we'll do it. I got a few beers on hand. It's gonna be one of those kind of streams. Welcome Vicky in the chat. Anyone else showing up along the way, and anyone on the replay. Welcome to the Big Daddy Show. The place where there is no subject taboo or off the table. You never know what we might end up talking about here. We'll end up singing a song or two before it's all said and done. That's just how we roll here. That's just how we roll. All right, what the fuck are we going to talk about? And we'll talk a lot about leftists posting their L's. It's been happening a lot lately. Well, not as much as it should be, of course. Yeah, I hear there's a new variant of the coof out there. You hear about this one? The Omicron? No, they're not talking about a Transformer character. Oh my God. Yeah, I guess they're going through all of the letters in the Greek alphabet. The funny part is it skipped from nu, N-U, to Omicron, and there was one in the middle there that it skipped. You want to know which it skipped? Z, X-I. Yep, the World Health Organization explained why they decided to skip the Z, naming the next COVID variant Z. They said, well, it's a popular name, and we don't want to offend anybody with that name or whatever, and cause them to get bullied or that bullshit. We all know the reason. Who out there has the name Z, X, I, a very prominent figure on the world stage that we don't want to offend, that is actually responsible for the COVID? Okay, come on. You can't call him Winnie the Pooh either. But yeah, this is how fucking cuck this whole shit has become. That they're like bending over backwards for the communist red Chinese not to offend them and shit. Omicron. They think that's you, dude. I'm telling you, your average like cucked fucking masky leftist is like scared to death. Oh my God, Omicron. This sounds so scary. Cocks, one and all. Let me tell you a funny story the other day. Yeah, we have these tales like only in California. It's like kind of like a running joke. Only in California will you see something like this. But I'm not in California. But anyway, I went to the dump here the other day, and there was somebody there at the dump. He had California plates, and this guy, he had a pickup truck, and he parked like so far away from the garbage for some reason, and he was like hauling all of his garbage over there. It's like, what the fuck is this guy doing? Then I'm leaving, I look and he's got his windows rolled up all the way, and there's this dog in there, like looking at me, and the dog's like, please save me. And then the entire truck is full of trash. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? Anyway, I leave and run in town. And on my way back, I swing back by the dump to pick up a burn barrel, and I talk to the fucking guy there that runs the dump. I'm like, did that bearded dude from California come in here? Did he seem like a weirdo to you? And the guy that ran the dump said, He told me that this guy came in there and paid for his trash, and he was wearing 5 masks. I shit you not, 5 masks. I'm like, Jesus Christ, he was a masky. Oh, no wonder why he was so fucking stupid. Oh, that explains it. Yeah, these masky types. I mean, they got this dead, soulless look in their eyes like they're fucking zombies, I tell you. They're just waiting for their overlords to tell them what to do next. Tell me what to do, master. These types that have been like double vaxxed, wear several masks, and they still caught the COVID, you know, one of these fucking cuckolds. The ones that are, you know, part of the problem. Like at this point in the game, if you're more scared of the coof than you are authoritarianism, you're part of the problem. Yeah, one of these types. Yeah, we have this running gag going along with, because there's all this fucking Californians moving out here, and they're so fucking retarded, so fucking retarded. I shouldn't talk. I used to live there, but I got out a long time ago. Yeah, it's but not all of California is cuck though. There's this town up there in Northern California called Oroville, and I guess Oroville they declared themselves a constitutional republic or something like that. We'll see how long that lasts. Yeah, there's a lot of real based red-pilled areas up in Northern California. Anywhere north of Sacramento, it's like a completely different state, pretty much. But yeah, it's pretty based in some of those areas. And it's real leftist too. Let's not kid ourselves. DA talks. Too based, Big Daddy. You're gonna get your channel taken down. Now we're gonna rock it till the wheels fall off. I ain't worried. I got a few lifeboat channels waiting in the wings, just in case. I'm not gonna fucking cuck out and not say what needs to be said. That's for sure. You gotta stay ahead of the game, you know. Like if your channel gets 2 strikes, it's like fuck. You're way too susceptible to getting taken down. So it's like boom, you gotta stay ahead of the curve. You gotta private all your videos and boom, go to the backup channel. Lay low, wait until the strikes go away, then you're fired up again. Gotta stay ahead of the game. The game don't wait. These fucking cancel culture Karens, these wokies. The leftist supremacist movement is real, make no mistake. These motherfuckers are lurking, hiding around every corner. They'll strike. You just never know. Yeah, but one thing Big Daddy won't do is back down. No, I won't back down. No, I won't back down. You can stand me up at the gates of hell, and I'll stand my ground, and I won't back down. That's what I do, and I know what's right, and I've got just one life, living in a world that's keeping me down, but I stand my ground. I know I won't back down. That's what I do. Everybody's got to take that fucking attitude. Don't back down. Don't back down. Especially the cancel culture. Like they're trying to run everybody out of the place. Like everybody's fucking channels are getting struck now. Everybody's fucking anybody that doesn't toe the line, say what you know, the establishment wants you to say. If you go against basically anything slightly to the political right of Chairman Mao himself, is getting fucking taken down and attacked and fucking at every fucking level. But one thing you can do is like here on YouTube, like it's basically a leftist bastion of like, if you like the nail that sticks up gets hammered down. If you say a little bit too controversial things, they'll come after you. But it's enemy territory as far as I'm concerned. Like I could go do a show on BitChute or one of these other platforms and you know, get a few people watching me. But there's a lot more eyes on YouTube. That's where all the fucking eyes are. So that's where I'm at. Go to where the most eyes are. attack the enemy, so to speak. That's why I'm also on Twitter. I know a lot of people fucking like, fuck Twitter, get off of there. It's like, that's enemy territory. Stake a flag on enemy territory and fight them like a guerrilla war behind lines, behind enemy lines. And if they take you down, boom, start up another fucking profile. Because the game don't wait. You gotta fucking adapt. A little cotton out there. Yeah. The fucking new coof, the Omicron. It reminds me of that, what was it? Futurama, that was it. I am Lur from Omicron Persei 5. That was a real good unsung fucking series, Futurama. Way ahead of its time. Anybody know if they're actually still making new episodes anymore? Probably not, of course not. But they're still making episodes of The Simpsons, I'm sure. The Simpsons, that fucking show should have been put to pasture like 20 years ago. My God, I think The Simpsons stopped being funny around like the early 2000s, late 90s maybe. Jesus Christ. Oh, fuck. You talk about some, oh my God. It's just a microcosm of just how fucking bad shit has gotten throughout the years. Just wokeness. It's a disease of the fucking soul. That's what it is. Wokeness. It all stems back to, left-wing politics and another tentacle of all of that is ruining everything is feminism. We all know this. Anybody who's listened to my show knows that I have spoken of the dangers and the evils of feminism. How the feminists have basically put the sword to Western civilization. Because at the end of the day, feminism created weak men, and weak men created hard times. And we see the state of the earth today. It's all because weak men allowed it to happen. There's too many weak men because feminists created them. That's the way it is. It simply is. Like you look in your typical, supposedly patriarchal type of thing, like a Christian family. No, your average Christian man is completely cucked and subservient to his wife. That's not how God wanted it. Like the type of life you're living is an abomination in the eyes of God. I've said this before. One thing that we all know, the fundamental truth of this universe, Islam was right about women. It's true. Islam was right about women. We all know this. Anybody who's ascended to a certain level of understanding in life knows this. Yep. It's all a matter of understanding who controls the world. Then it makes all perfect sense. Now, anybody could do this. You could look at, you could Google search all of this. You find out the major shareholders of all of the major Fortune 500 companies and all this shit. I mean, it's all fucking connected together. It all comes back to two companies, basically. Two companies. BlackRock and Vanguard. Look them up. I'm not fucking kidding. Yeah, these are, and you'll never know like the shareholders on these companies. Small cabal of, extremely rich and powerful families that truly control shit. They control the governments of the earth like pawns on a chessboard. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, if the root of all power in this earth stems back to money, look at who controls the wealth of this planet. And that'll show you who controls the planet. It really is as simple as that. Yeah. But the bottom line is you got to look at history and learn the lessons of history. And not allow history to repeat itself. That's one of the most important things we got to learn. And that's one reason why they seek to control and subvert education with things like Common Core and critical race theory and that kind of shit. I can only imagine what they're teaching these poor kids in other countries. Because they always like started out first in a country like Australia or something like that. They'll test out and just see how a Western civilization responds to it. And if they cuck out in Australia, they're like, oh, well, They cucked out in Australia, then we'll try it in the UK. And then they try it in the UK, and then the UK cucks out. Then they do it in Canada, and Canada cucks out, and then boom, then they do it in America. That's how they do it. But it all stems back to not cucking, not bending the knee. But as long as weak men exist, they're going to bend the knee. And weak men exist, why? Because of feminism. Feminism created weak men, and weak men created hard times. And look at the state of what we're living in today. Fucking dude wearing 5 masks at a goddamn dump. And the motherfucker wasn't wearing the masks when he was doing, taking his garbage out and shit. Like, if there's any place where you're afraid of catching COVID, it should be at a dump where, you got garbage and fumes all over the place, and the motherfucker's not even wearing any masks there. But he wears 5 masks when he goes indoors to go pay for his fucking garbage. It just goes to show how fucking insane people are. It's like a cult almost. It's like the cult of the coof. And these people are like zombies. It's like a true zombie apocalypse has happened. I could only imagine what the name of such a movie would be. Dawn of the Dumbass. Rise of the Left. That's what it would be. Jesus Christ, we're so fucked. Welcome to the brave new clown world, comrade. Oh man, hold on, let me get a drink of beer real quick. God damn. Oh Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. God, speaking of the brave new clown world, we saw all of this fucking shit with the Kyle Rittenhouse trial, fucking fully televised. We had a goddamn panel of Nick Rekieta and all the people watching it. What have we seen of the Ghislaine Maxwell trial yet? We've just seen like a couple of stills, like drawings. We haven't seen nothing. Like, who's to say this trial is even taking place? This is probably one of the biggest fucking trials of the millennium. I mean, if Epstein was still alive, that would be. But of course, well, we all know the story of that. The only question is, will Ghislaine live before this trial is all said and done? Or will she suffer from an acute case of arkancide? We shall see. We shall see. We shall see. But I do find it kind of strange that as soon as the Ghislaine Maxwell trial begins, all sorts of these high-profile dudes are starting to step down. Like, what was it, the CEO of Twitter, Jack Dorsey, steps down, and a bunch of other people. Like, I wonder. At the end of the day, though, it ain't gonna mean nothing. Nothing's gonna fucking happen. I think where they got like Comey's daughter is supposed to be the prosecutor. Like, it's all kabuki theater for the ignorant masses. That's what it is. And at the end of the day, this is what's going to happen. I'm calling it now. Anybody who knows me knows that I'm pretty much fucking batting 300 when it comes to this shit. What's going to happen is she's going to suffer the same fate as Epstein. Yep. She's going to get arkancided. That's what's going to happen. Well, that's what the media will say, of course. Like, she slit her wrist, she hung herself. I don't know, something happened. But the reality is she would have spirited away and spend the rest of her life sipping Mai Tais on a beach in Tel Aviv. We all know this. Same as Epstein. Anybody who knows this. You really think Epstein killed himself, really? You fucking kidding me? You really think somebody killed him? No. Motherfucker. No. There's being red-pilled and there's being black-pilled. Like, knowing the truth. But there are some pills so black, like to try to fucking even scratch the surface of them, there are certain black magic rituals cast about them to where they can destroy you if you attempt to even speak about them, if you know what I mean. But anyway, where are we going with this? Yeah, the bottom line is we have to learn from our history so as not to repeat it. And one of these characters from history that a lot of people fail to learn from is a little fellow by the name of King Solomon. A lot of people don't know the tale of King Solomon because that tale was omitted from the Bible. It was omitted for a reason. They say King Solomon, he was one of the wisest men that ever lived. He had the wisdom was imparted to him by God himself, supposedly. So supposedly this guy Solomon had the wisdom of God, and having this wisdom, it made him sad. It made him miserable, so to speak. But having this wisdom also enabled him to capture and control demons. So what Solomon did was he traveled the land, and he captured all of these various demon lords and enslaved them, put them in an urn and shit. But then, you see, Solomon was supposedly the wisest man in the land. But Solomon had a weakness. You see, Solomon had a propensity for simping. You see, the true tale of King Solomon is a tale of why you should never simp. Now, what happened was King Solomon, after enslaving so many demons and bringing so many temples to heal, eventually came to a certain temple that was ran by certain pagan priests and priestesses. And one of these priestesses came forward and presented herself to Solomon. And supposedly, her beauty was so great. Some tales say that she was actually a demon in the guise of a woman. But her beauty was so great, and the temptation was so great to Solomon. She said, you see, Solomon came there to, crush them and enslave their demon god like he did everyone before them. But this woman, you see, she tempted Solomon. And Solomon wanted this woman, and she knew. And Solomon's like, I want you. I want to have sex with you. And the woman's like, no, you cannot have sex with me unless you go into the temple and make a sacrifice to my god, Moloch. Sacrifice a child. And Solomon's like, no, I will not sacrifice a child to Moloch. Not for your poon, not for your snatch. No, I will not betray God. But you know what this harlot did? This demon in the guise of a woman? She hands Solomon a handful of crickets, and she says, crush these crickets and sacrifice them in the name of Moloch, and you shall have me. And you know what Solomon did? Solomon simped! He simped out. Yep. He crushed the crickets, and he sacrificed them in the name of Moloch, just to get a little piece of poon. And you want to know what happened afterwards? Like that. The Spirit of God left him, and he was no longer capable of controlling the demons. No. Now they controlled him. And what happened afterwards? Well, Solomon, he erected several temples to the demon gods. Some say the ancient Israelites were never capable of returning from Moloch worship. But that is another tale best told for another day. Those videos are I don't know if they've completely expunged them yet, but you can see them. A little place called Bohemian Grove. Look it up. Moloch is real. Moloch sacrifice is real. Make no mistake. All right, where are we going with this? Yeah. So the bottom line is, if somehow you're capable of not giving in to temptation and not simping out, then you yourself can be more wise than the most wisest man that ever lived, supposedly. Yeah, I don't think King Solomon could have been that wise to have simped out in such a degree. So the bottom line is, no matter how small the sacrifice, never sacrifice any sort of crickets to Moloch. No. There are many tales can be gleaned from the tale of Solomon. There's a reason why it was kept out of the Bible, along with the tale of, the book of Enoch and various others. Create a nice piece of social engineering that they could control people with to create a real weak sheep-like populace. That way, when the day comes when they can take over the earth, your average Christian will roll over on his back and allow himself to be sacrificed like a lamb, just like Jesus did. As long as I'm a good Christian, Jesus will come save me from the rapture. With the rapture and And when the end of days come and I won't have to be on this bad earth. It's like, you know what's coming. Why not prevent this apocalypse from happening, you fucking cucks? Like, no, that's the failure of modern Christianity, the failure of their whole religion. They're basically given the blueprint for what the bad guy is going to do. But what do? They cuck out and they allow the bad guy to win, thinking that Jesus is going to save him. The stench of the weakness of Christianity is choking to me. But to anybody who truly knows that religion is basically a trap created for your soul. But that's a whole nother fucking black-pilled stream for another day. All right, where the fuck are we going with this? Yeah, the bottom line is you got to punt all simps, white knights, blue pillars. You got to punt them out of your life, because having those types of people in your life, they can bring you down. Having a fucking blue-pilled beta cuck, like anywhere near your inner circle, not on the fucking level, they can destroy you. This is the importance of surrounding yourself with like-minded individuals. It all goes back to the Bible. He who walks among the wise shall come to wisdom, but a man who walks among fools shall come to ruin. You got to be real careful about who you associate yourself with. All right. Yep. Goddamn feminism. It's burning down Western civilization. That's what it's doing. I heard a fucking woman married her goddamn dog the other day. This is how bad we're getting. This is how fucking far we're falling as society. We got these goddamn post-wall thoughts marrying canines. Fuck, I'm not joking either. There was an actual headline. I saw this. Married by a Catholic priest, too. Well, I tell you what, if you were to say, Big Daddy, there's this post-wall feminist, and she's going to marry her dog. Guess what kind of priest is going to actually perform the marriage? I would say a Catholic priest. Like, yep, it was a Catholic priest, sure enough. Yep. If there was going to be any sort of clergy that was going to endorse bestiality, it would be the religion that's down for, the pederasty against the minors. Anybody who knows the Catholic Church knows that they fucking covered that shit up for years. Like, you want your young boy to get molested? Put him in a Catholic choir. There you go. Jesus fucking Christ. I'm sounding like just some guy now. No. That's a whole nother can of worms. We'll not get into that. But yeah. A woman married her fucking dog. Married by a goddamn Catholic priest, too. Well, before it's all said and done, that dog is gonna grow tired of the taste of peanut butter. You watch. Chicka chicka. Now you look at that dog, that poor dog. It's like a close-up, and the dog's like, if only you knew how bad it really is. No, but so supposedly this post-wall thought, 49 years old, was an ex-model. Had gone on almost 300 dates. Now, we all know what that means. This means this whore had fucking slept with almost 300 dudes. Now, this is what happens when you sleep around with too many men. You completely fry out your ability to form a pair bond. You can't produce oxytocin anymore. And then you end up marrying your fucking dog. That's what happens. Feminism. It's the most fucking dangerous ideology we've ever fucking known. I'm telling you. 'Tis the ideological personification of the Jezebel spirit. It's been around since the dawn of time. It all stems back from men being cucked and subservient to women. It's like, no. Women have got to be subservient to men. It's the way God intended. All you gotta do is look at the Bible. It's the way the core programming is. Yeah, these fucking these post-wall thoughts, posting their L's all over the place. Marrying dogs. There was this other bitch, I guess she recently got kicked off of a Delta Airlines flight for attempting to breastfeed her hairless cat. I kid you not. Welcome to the brave new clown world. See, this is what feminism does to women. They try to marry dogs and then they try to breastfeed their fucking cats. I mean, what the fuck? Like, whatever happened to, marrying a man, having a family, raising children, learning how to cook a good pot roast? I guess that's just too much to expect in this day and age. It's not much to expect, really. I mean, think about it. If you're a woman, all you gotta do is basically stay fit, stay virtuous, learn how to cook, be submissive, be pleasant to be around, no attitude, no lip, no promiscuity, nothing like that. Like, is it really that hard to just, be a good housewife and mother? I mean, did you really have to throw away the best years of your life pursuing school and career? Was it really that important to ultimately end up working at an Arby's or at a fucking Circle K or at a goddamn Walmart? Really? Because that's usually where these fucking bitches end up. 6 figures in debt for worthless degrees, working some fucking 9 to 5 as a goddamn debt slave, trying to pay back their fucking student loans. That's what happens. They use up the best years of their life doing that. And at the end of the day, what is that? You use up the best years of your life, your most fertile years, serving government and school and money and banks. What is that? You've committed child sacrifice. That's what's happened. Because all of those years that the women could have been having children, starting families, no, it was instead spent on school and career. Those children were sacrificed to school and career and money. It was all about money in the end, trying to attain money. Inanimate rectangular paper. Was it really worth it to sacrifice love and family for inanimate rectangular paper? For mammon? That's what it is. It's another word for money, the same word as a demon. It's the same. At the end of the day, you can dedicate your life to God or mammon, but you cannot do both. And feminism tricks the women into dedicating their life to mammon. It's an evil ideology, wicked. And we see the fruits of what it's doing, stoking the fires that is burning down Western civilization as we speak, creating weak men. Hell, look at what's going on in Australia right now. They're creating goddamn, basically concentration camps. I mean, that's what they are. They're basically like those camps we had in World War II, where we would take like our, like in America, we had them for Japanese. They were called intern camps. We brought them there because, they were considered too dangerous to be kept around other society. That's basically what they got in Australia now, intern camps. And anybody that tries to escape them, they're immediately brought back. They got special drugs there. Oh, you feeling stressed out? Here, take some drugs. It's like, Jesus Christ, what the fuck is wrong with these people? And if they cuck out in Australia and allow that to happen, it's going to happen in the UK next, then Canada, then America. That's the way they do it. Australia is always the testing ground for this shit. And the Aussies, they got to stop cucking out. But then I take one look at Liam Gray of Conquest Comics, and then I lose all hope and faith in Australia. And I'm like, fuck, Australia's lost. Maybe the UK won't bend the knee, hopefully. No. And then the UK, of course, I mean, the UK is a whole nother case into itself. Oh, Lord have mercy. And it all stems back to one thing. Feminism! Feminism created weak men. Weak men created hard times. We see feminism spreading like a cancer throughout all of the world. China is trying to beat it back as best it can. But that's the only thing that can stop China, feminism. I'm telling you right now, the West, we have no chance. Like, if we were to throw down with China in a war, like, we would get our fucking asses kicked so badly. It's not even funny. Hell, I guess the British Royal Marines here recently in a goddamn war game just mopped America's ass so badly. Like the American Marines. It just goes to show, though. I guess like 99% of the American Marines are completely vaccinated. Like, Jesus Christ, what the fuck happened? What the fuck happened to the U.S. military? Obviously, well, we all know. But it breaks my heart seeing what happened to the U.S. military. Completely cucked and brought to heel and just turned into just whipped dogs, basically. Just tools for Satanists and pedophiles. Like, goddamn, I feel so sorry for military people right now. Because as soon as they get out of the military, too, it's like, boom, they get put on terror watch lists and shit, too. I guess people who are considered incels are now considered on terror watch lists. The same as people who question the 2020 election. Like, these two groups are now eligible for terror watch list. Like, Jesus fucking Christ, you imagine that? Being some poor incel, like not being able to get laid. Then all of a sudden you get put on terror watch lists and shit just because you can't fucking get pussy. It's like, fuck. In the future, they got some sort of situation set up where, it's like you're some incel and it's like, oh, fuck. And in order to avoid the terror watch list, you got to go visit prostitutes. You got some sort of special like subway card. Like, you visit, the prostitute X number of times and boom, you get a free blowjob and shit. And you have to turn it in with your taxes and all this shit to prove that you're having sex. See, I'm not an incel. Please don't put me on the FBI terror watch list. I mean, is this the state where we're coming to? I mean, goddamn. And then for 4 years, those fuckers crowed, Russia, Russia, Russia. And just imagine if they were held to the same standards, questioning the election, whatever. I mean, anybody with a fucking brain cell in their heads knows what they did. 81 million votes. Yeah, wink, wink. Come on. Like, I'm not a fucking idiot. I better stop. That's how I got one of my strikes on my older channel. It was like the most random like remark, like in a fucking almost an hour and a half live stream. And it was like having to do with the California election. I kind of paralleled with the 20 whatever election. All of a sudden, boom, struck me. You're misreporting false information. Like, what? It was like one sentence and it was in a joking manner. It's like, you fucking pieces of shit. And my second strike came. You will not believe this. This is anybody who's deep familiar with Big Daddy lore, like, knows what I'm talking about. But I had another channel before I came here. And I had did this video, like, it was almost a year and a half old. And it was me reporting on a story, Wayfair and human trafficking. That was the name of the story. And there was like this little viral story that came out for a while about this company, Wayfair, and how they're engaging in human trafficking. They're using like proxies for humans, and like they're having like pieces of furniture, like be like over $10,000, and they would have a name of a missing person as the name of the piece of furniture. And it was like, wait a minute, there might be some sort of fucking shenanigans going on here. Maybe there's human trafficking. And I did like a whole video about it, and they fucking struck me for threatening, bullying, and cyber harassing. It's like, who the fuck am I threatening, bullying, and cyber harassing exactly? Satanists and child predators and human traffickers? Like, it don't make no sense. Like, are these now a protected class by YouTube? Like, yeah, apparently. We see the Ghislaine Maxwell trial popping off, and well, we all know they're trying to normalize that kind of shit. All you got to do is look at what they're doing all across the country, bringing in the demonic drag queens into the schools, bouncing the children around on their laps, singing about coming for the children with the San Francisco Queer Man's Choir. We're coming for the children, la, 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 la. Coming for the children. Yeah. They're coming for the children. They are. We got to protect them. This is why the family is so important. This is why they attack the family. Because they know if there's a strong family structure, then they can't get away with most of this bullshit they try doing. If you got a strong family. But the only problem is, even a lot of us who were raised in a traditional family structure, like even I was raised by a traditional family structure, but looking back on it now, like I was not raised by my mother or father. I basically had to raise myself. Like, and all, they tried to like hide secret knowledge from me and shit, and I had to like find this shit out later. It's like they tried to keep me ignorant on purpose. And it's not just me, it's mothers and fathers like that everywhere, all of their children. They're not raising their children right. They're just throwing them out into the world and just letting them fucking fend for themselves, like without arming them with the proper knowledge. This is why the red pill is so fucking potent, and why it's one of the most existential threats to the establishment. Because if young men arm themselves with red pill knowledge, then they're armed for life when they come into life, and they can combat life on an equal level and be able to conquer life. Like looking back on it now, if I was red pill aware back in my teens coming up, I would be a whole different person now. I would probably be a millionaire. But I was just raised so poorly, had such bad lessons instilled to me, and I had to learn all of my lessons myself and shit. It all goes back to poor parenting. Like there's a reason why feminism has thrived for so long and is so strong. Is it because these stupid cunts' mothers didn't fucking raise them right and train them right? Nope. They told them that in order to be important and accepted in life and to be something in this world, they had to go out and get a job, go out and get a career and make money. No, they didn't tell them the importance of love and family. No. And next thing you know, these fucking bitches are, on the north side of 40, fucking can't have no kids, houses fucking covered in empty boxes of wine, stinking of chihuahua piss. And they realize they threw their fucking lives away. But by then it's too late. And the worst part is these fucking women they never warn the younger generation about the dangers of accepting feminist ideology. No, they don't. This is the importance of learning from history, learning from the mistakes of the past, and not allowing them to repeat themselves. Feminism created weak men. Weak men created hard times. All right. And we're getting close to the halfway mark, the intermission point, where I step up and take a leak and grab another beer. So we might be taking a break here for a couple minutes. So go ahead and stay tuned. And for anybody out there listening that wants to chop it up, talk with Big Daddy, the StreamYard's link is in the chat. If I see anybody in the guest room, maybe I'll bring you on. Maybe. No guarantees. But yeah, the StreamYard's link is in the chat if you want to pop on, do a little, chop one up, talk with Big Daddy. But until then, we're going to take about a 2-minute break. We'll come back. 2-minute break. 2 minutes. We'll be right back. Ugh. Be right back momentarily. And we're back. All right. I'd like to thank everybody for coming out. Everybody in the chat and everybody on the replay. Yeah, sometimes it's good to just get up on the mic and just rip the mic a bit. Living out here in the cuts the way I do. Sometimes I go a month or two or more sometimes without speaking to a living soul. There was one time I went like 6 months out here without even speaking to a living soul. I get a little lonely sometimes. Sometimes. Most of the time I like the peace and quiet though. But sometimes I gotta get on and rant and rave and know that I'm not just ranting and raving into the fucking wilderness. At least somebody's hearing me. Because the way I see it, well, for many reasons, I do what I do. But one thing I hope I can do is entertain the small amount of people that are watching. Yeah. Yeah, anybody who knows me knows I used to talk about this this community of lolcows that was part of the independent comic book underground known as Comicsgate. I've tried to talk about more real world issues with this channel, but since we've reached the twilight of the show, I guess I'll go ahead and kick it old school and talk a little CG talk for those interested in Comicsgate. For those unaware of Comicsgate, like you could Google it. There's been a lot of disinformation around Comicsgate, the same as the red pill and all that shit, because it's anti-establishment. It all stems back to how the social engineers decided to attack the comic book industry, replace all of the beloved characters with these woke, bastardized leftist versions of themselves. And there was like a knee-jerk reaction to it by the independent comic book underground, and became known as Comicsgate. And then it comes to find out that there was a reason behind all of this wokeness and shit that's been pushed. There's a little thing called the environmental social governance funds. Trillions of dollars being created by the bankers, set aside to give to these Fortune 500 companies to push an extreme left-wing agenda. Turns out the old adage, get woke, go broke, doesn't work. Never did. Turns out get woke, get trillions of dollars by globalist social engineers. That's what it was really all about. But yeah, this community of lolcows kind of cropped up, and they started making their own comics and shit. And a lot of the comics were kind of low quality and really late, if they even came out at all. But then a small group of ex-industry professionals that were blackballed by the industry kind of popped onto the scene, started doing comics. And one of them was named Ethan Van Sciver. He basically became the titular head of the movement. And he's been catching a lot of flack recently about his book, Cyberfrog, Wrecked Planet, the sequel to this one that he did a couple years back. And, well, that's one of the things Comicsgate gets a lot of flack for, late books. Because, they sprang up as a knee-jerk reaction to the mainstream, and they were supposed to produce something better than the mainstream. Only it's like a way, way, way more of a joke than the mainstream, basically. It's like the mainstream, but without men in wigs. Oh, wait, no, never mind. They got men in wigs on live streams. Well, they used to. It's been a while. But, yeah, every so often, there'll be men in drag on some of these streams. But it's all part of the showmanship and the salesman, the sales. Well, it's all about marketing, I guess. Yeah, the marketing, that's the word. Because a lot of these comics and Comicsgate, they end up going for like years on end, which I don't understand really, because I make comics too. Well, I write them, I draw them too sometimes, but I'd rather write them than draw them. But the only thing that stops me from creating my comics is when I run out of money to pay my artists. And that happened here recently. Like, it's been like shit, almost 3 weeks since I've had to close down production until I can get more funds. And I've just been chomping at the bit. Like every day, it's like fucking, I'm so fucking antsy. Like I just want to resume production on the comic. Because like if you truly love something, like if you truly love creating comics, there's nothing to stop you from creating the comic, because you literally go into a zen-like state when you create the comic. And these guys that aren't creating their comics and aren't delivering, I think it's because they don't truly love what they're doing. Like, and if you don't truly love what you're doing, you shouldn't be doing it. That's the way I see. And most of these people in Comicsgate should not be making comics, as far as I'm concerned. And a lot of these yahoos with the late books and everything, they poisoned the waters and ruined it for everyone else. Like me, I've already got a book that's like done. It's like 55 pages done. Not just a Western style comic, but I've got a black and white manga read from left to right, like a manga too. Like if CG Comicsgate was the way it used to be, I would have loved to have released my fucking comic through CG, but the waters are so poisoned now. It's like fucking, I'm gonna have to do my own thing, completely independent. And it's kind of a shame, because these people that poisoned the waters and ruined CG are the same people that are reaping all the benefits of it. And the worst part about CG is, like, from the outside world, like the SJWs, the left, they think it's some sort of hate group, and oh, they're a hate group, this, hate group that, white supremacist, brah, brah, you know, the words. But the reality is, the people who truly knows what it is, knows that it's just a bunch of grifters and charlatans who are taking advantage of a bunch of, like, really socially inept, mentally ill men. That's what it is. All you gotta do is look at Anna, that Star Wars girl, where her calendar, this cosplay calendar, is just taking advantage of these poor mentally ill simps. I mean, I'm not knocking the hustle, but because, I mean, I'm telling you, if I was managing that campaign, it would be way more money than what it is. Because I would have like $100,000 stretch goal where she goes full nude. The way that fucking campaign is moving, it would actually probably hit it though. The $250,000 donkey show stretch goal. The one that Cecil would fund. Yeah. Poor Cecil. Boy, he's the emperor has no clothes now, that poor guy. Anybody who knows this clown. He's basically like the mascot of Comicsgate. And well, he's basically like a parody of a parody, like a true mockery of the man. And well, Comicsgate couldn't really pick a better fucking mascot, I guess. But yeah, this guy, he's got a book, and it's like fucking 2 years late or something like that. And the book is called Cash Grab, and the whole thing is like, well, it's basically become an inside joke at this point, making fun of the CG simps and pay pigs who fucking throw money at these stupid fucking idiots. Like, that's what it is. It's a fucking inside joke at this point. It's like all these fuckers are laughing at their audience. That's what it's like. This is what it feels like. It's like the audience is just the fucking like all of these ex-industry professionals just looking back at their audience, these fucking suckers, and they're just laughing at them. Look at these fucking idiots throwing us money for these books that we just kind of take our fucking dear sweet time on. But the reality is, your average CG simp that buys a lot of these books, they don't care that these books are like 2 years later or more. Like your average Cecil simp, the guy that bought the book Cash Grab, if Cecil was to come out today and announce, guys, what I said from the beginning, the cash grab, like, the book isn't gonna deliver. This is just a cash grab. This is for real. You're not getting the book. Like, the money's spent. It's over. Like, this campaign is done. The book, you're not getting a book. However, I'm releasing Cash Grab 2. Then he releases Cash Grab 2. You want to know what your average Cecil simp, your average CG cuck would do? You want to know what they would do? They would go, you got me, Cecil. Good one. and they clap like fucking seals. And Cash Grab 2 would probably make close to 200K. That's what would happen. I mean, the movement has become a fucking joke. It's a parody of a parody, is what it is now. I've said this before. It's not even dollar store version of the mainstream. It's roadside Mexican tchotchkes version of the mainstream. And thinking back on it now, my comic, it's too pure, too good, and too important to be associated with something like CG. I've got to do my own thing, build my own audience, eventually release it. I'm looking at maybe sometime Christmas of next year, hopefully. I got a full graphic novel ready to go. I'm not going to be like one of these fucking cucks in CG that's like, oh, buy my book, and then they never fucking release it, or they only have like a few pages of art done and shit. Like, I guarantee I've got more pages done in my book than Rob Willis has on Shinobi Sasquatch. I guarantee you. Yeah, but so these people, they ruined the well for people like me. And now I see CG for what it truly is, and I want nothing to do with it. It's ugly. It's gross. I want no part of it. But looking back on hindsight, it's probably for the best that my channel was struck, and I was forced to go to my lifeboat channel and start doing my own thing. It was probably for the best. Probably for the best. I mean, shit, I did CG related content for about a year and a half. I only got maybe 100 subs or so. So much for grabbing an oar, huh? It's like, yeah, I'll grab an oar. Crack you right over the fucking skull. Amistad style, take over the boat. That's my style. I'm not a follower. Never was. I would rather rule hell than serve heaven. Let's put it that way. You want to know why? Because I'm a motherfucker that's built to last. Fuck with me, I put the foot in your ass. I'm a holler out because I keep belling. Yo, tell them what they yelling. Gangsta, gangsta, gangsta. It's not about a salary. It's all about reality. Gangsta, gangsta, gangsta. What? Gangsta, gangsta, gangsta. All right, where are we going with this? Anti-CG. Yeah, and then Comicsgate, if you are a little bit critical of Comicsgate, they'll call you anti-CG, and then they'll try to destroy you, basically. Like, the reality is, in Comicsgate, you have to worry about people within CG targeting you and destroying you more than you do SJWs. That's the reality. Bunch of fucking trash tier books that are late as fuck. Bunch of terrible people who are fucking trying to destroy you. It's not a good movement. It's not a good community of people. It's not. I'm glad to be away from it now, to be honest, in hindsight. And that's the alcohol talking too. That's why I had to get on the stream a little bit lit. I'm probably about 8 beers deep right now. Just a little bit lit. Back in the day when my tolerance was higher, this would have been nothing. But yeah, I used to be like a hardcore alcoholic. I drank so fucking much. Like, I think drinking, because it got to the point where even if I had one beer, like next day I'd be oh shit and blood and shit. So I was looking up, fuck, how do I heal myself of cirrhosis of the liver, alcoholism? How do I fucking get my body right again? Anyway, I found this this holistic book, like had all sorts of like holistic herbs and medicines and how to heal yourself naturally. And it was talking about like pancreas, like if you drink too much, like, because I guess that's where it starts, in the pancreas. But if you consume milk thistle supplements, you can actually rebuild. I think it was, yeah, it was certain. It was the pancreas or the liver, something like that. It might have been the liver, actually, come to think of it in hindsight. Yeah, I think it was the liver. Yeah. It was one of those fucking, those important organs related to drinking. Let's put it that way. Anyway, milk thistle. Anyway, for 2 years straight, I fucking quit drinking and just took milk supplements every day to try to rebuild my liver up. And after about 2.5 years, there was about a half year where I stopped taking the supplements and my body was just kind of normalized, I was hoping. And then I started drinking again. And I just started out small, you know, just got myself a 15 pack. You know, started small. I'm like, you know what? I just polished off 6 beers in one night and I'm good the next day. Same thing the next day. Next time I go to town, I get a full 15 pack and then boom, polish that full fucking thing off in one sitting. Next day, boom. Nothing. I was like, you know what? I think the fucking milk thistle, it rebuilt my fucking liver. So you want to know what I did? I started going back and drinking like I used to. But then I realized, you know what? I better fucking cut it back a little bit. So I cut back severely. So now maybe once every month or two, or whenever I get to town, I'll get to myself a case of beer and I'll just start drinking on it. Not like how I used to, where I would drink every day. And I was one of these types of alcoholics that would get like a 6-pack of some sort of microbrew, some IPA. It would always be something different. I would always be testing out different beers and shit. I ultimately realized I like the Sierra Nevadas the best. These real strong IPAs. Sierra Nevada, they made this one thing called Bigfoot Ale. It was a real seasonal thing. But shit, it was so high in fucking alcohol content, you could almost chew on that shit. That was the type of shit I was used to. Yeah, anybody out there, it's a little bit of men's health advice. If you find yourself to the point where you're drinking and it's fucking your health up, you're shitting blood, take a couple years off and just take milk thistle supplements. Rebuild your liver, and then boom, you can start drinking heavily again. That's how you do it. You learn a little something from the Big Daddy Show. Guaranteed to learn a little something. Yeah, where the fuck was I going with this? I was talking about Comicsgate bullshit, wasn't I? Yeah, the fucking Comicsgate. There was a scandal that popped off in Comicsgate recently. Like a huge scandal, actually. Like there was this fellow by the name of Leroy, and he had a goddamn channel called The Chat. And this whole channel was based upon, you see these CG channels, they would have anybody who's not familiar, if you watch my show or any show that's live through the YouTube app, you can interact through the live chat function, in case you're unaware. But yeah, there was this guy, Leroy. He was part of the live chats of these CG shows, and he decided to make his own show. And he called the show The Chat. And I've never watched the show, but I hear mixed reviews. I hear some people say it was good. I hear most people say it was actually pretty boring. But the bottom line is, it was like one of these real sycophantic CG type of streams where it was all like, you know, a lot of navel gazing, real cringe from what I hear. But this fella Leroy, he was a jock sniffer on a lot of these higher end CG creators, especially Shane Davis, the creator of Starlight Cats. But anyways, Leroy, he had a semi-popular channel by CG standards, Slumtown CG standards, and he just up in the blue decided to yeet his channel and just delete it, get rid of it altogether. Not like how I did with my stream, my old channel, where I privated all my videos and then you know, started up again. No, he cucked out and he deleted his fucking channel. Leroy did. And there was a lot of intrigue around why Leroy decided to delete his channel. And what happened was, I guess he had did a stream where he did basically what I just did here recently on this stream, where I criticized late creators. And that's what Leroy did. He criticized the late creators within CG. He even went so far as to blaspheme against the almighty Cecil himself. Talk about how Cecil's joke isn't funny anymore, which your average CG cuck is like, blasphemy. Don't talk bad about Cecil. You're anti-CG. Anyway, CG so cuck. You have no idea. Anyway, yeah. So Leroy, fuck, where was I going with this? Oh yeah, Leroy. He yeeted his channel, and the reason he yeeted his channel, I guess this was revealed by Ethan Van Sciver himself, none other than the Frog Father, the titular head of Comicsgate. I guess he had a private correspondence with Leroy, and Leroy had said that some creators in CG, they're not liking what I'm saying about the late books, calling out the late books, and well, they're threatening to dox me. They're threatening to dox me, bro. Anyway, Leroy fucking spins this yarn about how there's CG creators threatening to dox him. And in order to prevent himself from being doxxed, he decides to close his fucking channel down. That's the story. But anyway, I guess EVS, Ethan Van Sciver, has said, like, before he had talked with Leroy, somebody else had came forward and that was warning him about Leroy. Oh, you can't trust Leroy. Blah, blah, blah. You can't be trusted. And there was a lot of speculation that whoever this CG rat was also the same person that threatened Leroy with his docs. Well, it turned out it was kind of like a Scooby-Doo mystery. Like it was revealed later on the Dean and Vicky stream, D&V Investigations, where EVS actually came forward in the chat to reveal that the one who came forward as the rat that told him not to trust Leroy or whatever, the one who's called the CG rat, it turns out that this CG rat was none other than a man by the name of Well-Read User. Anybody who doesn't know who Well-Read User is knows that he is kind of like a staple in a lot of the Comicsgate chats. And he's got his own show where he reviews Comicsgate books. I actually used to come on the show and help him close it out because I would feel so sorry for him because the show was so terrible. And I was like, fuck, I would come on for the final hour or two and close it out for him. But then he kind of turned out to be kind of a treacherous cuck. So then I stopped listening to him or having anything to do with him in the show. And it turned out, yeah, Well-Read was the one working behind the scenes and backroom DMs, trying to gay off and shit. Yep, it was Well-Read User. Turns out he was the CG rat. But the question of whether or not he was the CG Hitman, the one that threatened Leroy, threatened him with his docs, well, that is yet to be proven. And to be honest, I believe Leroy was full of shit, or he's just embellishing. That's what I'm thinking. Because all you gotta do is take one look at this Leroy character and see that he's obviously a soft body. He's got a double chin. He's wearing a hat, so he's hiding a bald spot. This guy is one of these low-T, dull-witted gamma males that fucking populate CG. That's what he is, nothing more. Like, you can't take fucking anything that guy says seriously. So if he says somebody was threatening to dox him, blah, 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 yeah. I wouldn't fucking trust a goddamn word the guy says. That's just me though. Like I'm pretty good with my bullshit meter. And my bullshit meter tells me that Leroy is full of fucking shit. Or he's like grossly embellishing something. But yeah, I believe the CG rat, well, it was proven to be well read. But as to who threatened to dox Leroy, it is my theory that that was complete bullshit. Leroy's full of shit, just wanting to stir up drama or give some sort of excuse as to why to get rid of his channel. Because just think if it was well read, like well read came to Leroy in some DMs. Hey, Leroy, I think it's fucked up how you're coming forward with these damn streams calling out CG. Because CG should have his butthole licked like how I do. You know, a lot of these people in CG got your docs, Leroy. You really think it's such a wise idea to be calling them out like that? I can imagine Well Read pulling some shit like that. And then Leroy taking it a certain way, like, oh my God, he's right. Maybe these people in CG will dox me. Because Leroy, he strikes me as one of these real dull-witted fucking beta cuck types. So Leroy fucking tucks his penis between his legs and fucking yeets his channel because he's scared of Well Read. God, just imagine that, being so fucking cucked that you would yeet your channel because you're scared of Well Read user. A guy who probably has to look at his penis every fucking 5 minutes just to make sure he still has a dick. God damn, just imagine that. That's the nature of CG, though. A lot of gamma males, a lot of beta males, a lot of intrigue, a lot of wokeness, a lot of bullshit. Do you know the tale of Melissa Morgue? That is not a tale the elders of CG will tell you. But gather round, my friends, and I shall tell you the tale. The tale of Melissa Morgue. You know who Melissa Morgue is? I'll tell you. But to tell the tale of Melissa Morgue, I must first tell you of ya boy Zach. Ya boy Zach, Richard C. Meyer. He is, they call him the CG Jesus because if it wasn't for him, Comicsgate probably wouldn't exist. Because he was the first one that was calling out all of these woke comics that were coming out all over the place. So these industry professionals like, well, you're like criticizing these comics, so why didn't you just make one? So Yasoy Zach decides, you know what, you're right, I'll make a comic. So he makes a comic called Jawbreakers. And this, he actually gets a fucking deal with Antarctic Press, a goddamn legit publisher. But these SJWs come forward and they threaten Antarctic Press, saying that if they publish Yasoy Zach's comic, that there's going to be trouble. You never know. We're going to have a Twitter mob come after you. And the cuckold that threatened them, his name was Mark Wade. Well, what he did was he committed what's called tortious interference. He interfered with a fucking deal. So Yasoy Zach ended up suing Mark Wade. And the lawsuit between Yasoy Zach and Mark Wade, it was basically like the catalyst that kept Comicsgate going for several years. Then all of a sudden, without warning or question, like Yasoy Zach just kind of queefed out and made a deal behind the scenes with Mark Wade, and the lawsuit just kind of went away. And ever since then, CG, it's kind of been on the ropes, it seems. Ever since ya boy Zach cucked out and bent the knee to Mark Wade and the SJWs. Boy, I bet he wishes he would have been able to get that deal in the end, because ya boy Zach, he's on the decline. Boy, you talk about somebody that doesn't know how to handle their fucking business. This guy, I mean, he so mismanaged his business. He had like multiple like 6-figure IPs that he could do, and then he just kind of pissed it all away. And he even attained the license for the Expendables. You know, that movie with Dolph Lundgren, Sly, Jason Statham, Jet Li, all those guys. He attained the fucking license for the Expendables to do comics. Well, at least one. And he shit the bed so badly on that comic. Like it was like almost 2 years late, and like it was kind of like panned critically, and it made like a fraction of the amount of money it could have made because he didn't fucking market it properly. And yeah, this fucking guy, your boy Zach, he had the keys to the kingdom, and he just fucking completely shit the bed. But anyway, he had this fucking super fan called Melissa Morg. And this guy, he's got a lot of weird, like cringe fucking fans. And this Melissa Morg was probably one of the most cringe, weirdest fans that your boy Zach had. And it turns out this Melissa Morg character was not even a real woman. It was some fucking dude LARPing around as a woman. Like it was like gone full troon. And what he did was he staged a fucking fake murder. Like he showed a picture of a dead body and said like, this is what somebody from Comicsgate did to Melissa Morg or something like that. It was just so cringe and so fucking weird and stupid. And I mean, that's just a little taste of this Comicsgate shit. I mean, you talk about a community of lol cows and a half. I mean, my God. And this guy was like the fucking titular head of the movement for a while. He was considered CG Jesus, the guy that started the whole thing. And he's never even ascribed to being a member of Comicsgate either. Like at every moment, he's always thrown into the bus and like disavowed it and shit. And he had this thing called Zach Friday sale. It's a play on Black Friday, where he would take his comics, and he would bundle them together and sell them on Zach Friday. It was kind of like a sales gimmick. Anyway, last year, his Zach Friday sale, it did like between 16, 17 grand, something like that. Anyway, this year, his Zach Friday sale, I think it barely made 5 grand. Like that's how much of a drop off this guy has seen just in 1 year's time from his popularity. Because I guess he's just become just such the most hapless cuckold. I mean, I used to be a fan of the guy too. I used to watch his videos when he was reviewing those shitty woke comics. I was like, why the fuck is Iron Man a little black girl now? Why is Captain America a Nazi? Why did they turn Thor into a little 16 or a fucking teenage girl? Like, this doesn't make sense. And like he was the guy that was, speaking about it, and like he caught lightning in a bottle basically, and he got lucky. Like if we all knew now what we knew then, that the SJWs were all like fucking doing this on purpose, and they were being given trillions of dollars behind the scenes to push this crazy woke leftist agenda. If only we knew then. If only we knew. But such is the way. This is why we have to learn from history. And people have to learn now that you know that the environmental social governance funds exist. This is $35 trillion the bankers have set aside to give to Fortune 500 companies to push an extreme left-wing agenda in all facets. I mean, hell, even Nintendo has succumbed to this. Nintendo, the Japanese company that was traditionally known to be completely immune to wokeness, has now succumbed to wokeness. I guess they've announced they're going to start implementing diversity hires and shit. It's only a matter of time till they have, the vice president of indigenous, blah, 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 It's just like completely made up positions just for the sole purpose of making them look good and getting these social governance funds. And in the process of doing this, they're going to devalue the dollar. It's all done on purpose. It's all leading to one thing, the Great Reset. Where all of these fuckers that truly control shit behind the scenes, the major shareholders of all of the Fortune 500 companies, finally assert themselves onto the world scene and assert full dominance and power over us. The ones who control governments like pawns on a chessboard. Your average dipshit just fucking doesn't understand or comprehend it, though. But that's what the Big Daddy show is here for. I'll break it down for you. Black Rock and Vanguard. Look them up. They're the two major shareholders of every fucking company out there. There's like basically 6 companies that own everything, and they're the major shareholders on all of the companies. The ones in charge of the WEF, the World Economic Forum, the ones in charge of, setting policy for all of the COVID bullshit. The social engineers, I call them. There's only one way to stop them, and that is for strong men to step up and defy their bullshit. Stop wearing the mask, stop cucking out and forcing yourself to get vaxxed and all that stupid shit. Boy, speaking of leftists posting their L's, this one tickled the shit out of me when I heard this. LeBron James himself, Mr. Fucking bend the knee to China, the reason I don't fucking watch the NBA anymore, and I told myself, until LeBron James retires from the NBA, I'm done with fucking NBA. But LeBron James, he got a COVID vaccine. Oh shit, I shouldn't have said that. that probably the YouTube bots probably picked me up. Fuck it. He got the jab for the coof. Anyway, LeBron got the jab for the coof, and turns out he caught the coof. Like, oh, what happened, LeBron? What happened? Where's your God? Your vaccine didn't work for you, did it, LeBron? No, it didn't. The truth is, he probably got the placebo vax, the saline implant. That's probably what really happened. This was a huge controversy in one of these Slavic countries, I guess. Like all of their leaders. Turns out they had 3 versions of the vax. Like one of them was just a placebo, one of them was a saline, and one of them was the actual mRNA, whatever, like that fucking can explode your heart and give you all that fucking nasty shit. And the fucking politicians only took the placebo, and they did it just to fucking trick the people into taking the fucking poisons. Behold a Pale Horse by William Cooper. Look at that fucking book. Prophetic. There's many things in that book that came to pass. And one of the things he talked about was how they would create bioweapons and unleash them upon humanity. But these bioweapons that they unleashed, they would be nothing more than a Trojan horse, you see. For the true bioweapon would come in the form of a vaccine, you see, that you would be forced to take. You'd have to have it, it would all be tied into your global passport and all that shit. It's all about the mark of the beast. Book of Revelation. It's the end of the world as we know it. But I'm feeling fine. Yeah, worst comes to worst, we're gonna fucking go full Chaz up here, seed from the Union. It'll probably be a bloody. In the end, I have a feeling whoever side that is on God's side will be the side that prevails. Let's put it that way. I'm talking about the one true God. I'm not talking about the fucking Christian God or the God from any religions. I'm talking about the one true God. Because if you're truly tapped in to the fucking universe, like religion is nothing more than a middleman. Like you got a one-on-one connection with God, one-on-one relationship with God. There's no need for things like religion. Religion is nothing more than a middleman. I guess go take a leak and do another couple-minute break. And I do have this pop on and chop one up for a little bit. We can do that. But if not, I'll go ahead and probably sing a couple. All right, so we'll go ahead and take a 2-minute break. And if you want to pop on the show, the stream 2-minute break. Be right back. newcomers out there that were bored to death with the Comicsgate talk, but sometimes you gotta cater to your old audience. And I know the most hardcore Big Daddy fans ended up following me over, so I'm sure they want to hear some CG talk. Hear a couple of my hot takes, because that's what I'm renowned. Who had the balls to say what needed to be said that nobody had the balls to say? Because basically, like, nobody was listening to me. Like, I was one of those shows that out there, like if CG, let's say if CG was a city and there was like a slumtown CG where all of like the campaigns and personalities would go that made less than 5 figures on their campaigns and shit like that. That's the place where I would be, except I would be like somewhere on Skid Row, like fucking the most fucking worst part of town, type of place where you fucking get killed in a drive-by shooting. That's the area I was at. Not many people would listen to my shows. Let's put it that way. On a good day, maybe I would have like a dozen people listening to one of my live streams, which is one of the sad realities of CG. Like, it's one of those things where it seems like the more untalented you are, the more of a milquetoast cuckold you are. Like, the more you are elevated within the community. But like, the more entertaining you are, the more talented you are, like the more you're kind of like pushed back and like kind of sidelined, it seems. But such is the way sometimes in all of the world, It's just you gotta adapt and fucking roll with the times, so to speak. But yeah, I could have continued doing what I did on my old channel, but it would have been a matter of time till I got 3 strikes and my channel would have been gone. Same thing happened to a character in the CG sphere. His name was Lord Finatra. He had a channel that released. He achieved semi popular state within Slumtown CG, I guess you could say, because he had over 1,000 subs, and he would get between 20 and 30 people watching his stream at any one time, which was pretty good for Slumtown CG. Not quite up to the Wanger standard, which is the gold standard. There was this dude. He was called Wanger. He had a real terrible comic. I never read it, but I heard it was terrible. It was called Super Harem. It was like a fetish comic. But he was one of these fringe characters that wasn't quite part of the mainstream of CG, but was kind of like there on like the cusp of. But he was still. Well, this was before there was like a massive falling out with this group called War Campaign, and like then the 2000 whatever election happened, and then he kind of stopped doing his content. And anyway, Wanger, he had a stream where he would stream Tuesdays and Thursdays, and he would always have a set time, and without fail, he would get around 80 people watching his fucking stream every time. And to this day, there hasn't been a living soul within the depths of Slumtown CG even come close to reaching Wanger level numbers. No, not even half of that. Like at the most, you might get to 30 or 40 people watching one of these streams in Slumtown CG. Yeah, that's one of those characters that I think needs to come back to CG. That CG needs Wanger. We'll see if he comes back. He talked about maybe coming back. I follow him on Twitter. He floated the idea. But I did say this once before. As far as just from top to bottom quality, like the Wanger show was the best show in all of CG. Like you could tell he actually, even like after doing shows myself, I could tell he actually put in some time to do show prep for his shows. Because those are always the shows that are the best when they put in a little show prep. I didn't really put in no show prep for this one. I had a couple of ideas, things to talk about, mainly leftists and feminists posting their L's, and a few CG things to talk about. But I don't expect many people to be watching me anyway, because this is a new fucking channel, completely restarting from scratch, basically. Yeah. It's only this channel gets taken down. Anybody knows Big Daddy don't take no shit. I'll just fucking say whatever the fuck I want to say. I'm gonna say what I want to say. I'm gonna spray what I want to spray. I'm gonna ride where I want to ride. Because I'm Big Daddy for life. I'm Big Daddy till I die. All right. Yeah. Reaching the end of the show, I guess. Normally I do these things, well, it mostly depends upon how much battery power I have. And since I just came back from town, I was able to get some gas for my fucking car so I can charge my battery up. Like this time of the year, you see, anybody who knows me knows I live way back in the cuts, back in the woods, and I'm fully off grid. Run my shit full fucking solar power. And this time of the year, the fucking sun, it doesn't come out as long, and it's not as bright as it normally is, and it's not out as long. So my fucking battery doesn't stay as charged. So I have to take my battery and hook it up to my car with jumper cables and turn it on for about 5 minutes or so to charge that motherfucker. And I had been out of fucking gas, and I couldn't charge my fucking battery. So nighttime came, and I would basically be out of fucking battery on my phone. And, well, I just came back from town, filled up my fucking car full of gas, charged up my battery, and well, I've got a fucking full battery. I'm at 100% right now, still going. So I guess we're gonna chill out for a little bit more, and then I guess if I don't see anybody in the back room to come on, and we'll sing a couple songs, and I guess we'll close it out, I guess. One thing I don't want to do is like go too long with my streams. They can go anywhere between 20 minutes to 2 hours and 20 minutes, basically. We're all just hanging out, having fun. Speaking our minds, there is no subject taboo or off the table. What I really want to do is get some feminists on here and debate some feminists. Because, I mean, there is no feminists on this fucking planet that could out-debate me. I would literally be like the prophet Elijah going up against all of the fucking demonic priestesses of Jezebel. Like, none of you feminists can fucking stop me. None of you. Throw all of your fucking feminist horde at me. Yeah, if there's any feminists out there listening that want to debate me, go ahead and come on. I normally have a policy about how I don't debate SJWs, but I'll make an exception. Yeah, I'll make an exception. Any post-wall roasties want to come on and fucking debate Big Daddy? Bring that shit. Bring it on. I know nobody's coming on. There's nobody really listening. I'm a new channel. Nobody knows I exist yet. We're getting there, though. Allahu Akbar. That's what the Muslims say before they blow themselves up. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. That's that fucking Bin Laden weed. That shit'll kill you. Booyaka, booyaka. All right. Hold on. Where's my phone? Over here. Oh, shit. Well, I got one last beer. There we go. All right. All right. All right. Yeah, where the fuck am I going with this? I guess we're getting ready to wrap things up, maybe. Maybe we'll go another hour or two, who knows? Nah, I don't want to be one of those streams. I mean, it's one thing if you've actually got content to fill, but a lot of these streams, chill stream type things that go on for hours and hours, there's really little to no content in there. But with a Big Daddy stream, you could take 20 minutes, any random 20 minutes in a Big Daddy stream, and that's equal to about 2 hours of content in any fucking cuckold stream. That's the truth. Yeah, I have much knowledge to give. Much knowledge. Yeah, back when old boy, what was it, Galileo, was talking about how the world was round. People didn't believe him then. No, but now he was proven right in the end. There are some people who still believe the fucking Earth is flat. You believe that? Like everybody knows that the whole flat Earth thing is just a psyop, like many other things. Flat Earth psyop. Something so fucking stupid that they know a 5-year-old knows isn't real. Kind of present that to the public as something real. That way they could take legitimate conspiracy theories, lump them in with flat Earth, and completely destroy them. Same thing as QAnon. Like, oh, what, you believe 9/11 was an inside job and JFK too, huh? I suppose you believe the Earth is flat. You think QAnon is real too, huh? Yeah. They did it on purpose. Yeah, if you were to tell your average dipshit that the CIA, like 90% of the activities the CIA does involve psychological operations against the American people, if you were to tell your average dipshit that, they wouldn't even understand or comprehend what you're fucking saying, let alone believe it. It's literally like Plato's parable of the cave. Anybody doesn't know what the fuck I'm talking about? Plato, he was a fucking Greek philosopher. He had this parable of the cave. This was a story of his. It was a metaphor for reality. You want to know what Plato's metaphor for the cave was? Many of you may know what I'm talking about, but I'll explain for those that don't. The Cave Allegory. There was once a cave, and inside of this cave there was a bunch of men chained up. And in front of these men there was a wall. And on the other side of the wall, there was a fire being made. And there were people inside of the wall. Now the men chained up couldn't see the people on the wall. Now what happened was the men who were chained up saw the shadows on the wall, and those shadows on the wall became their reality. They thought those shadows were real. No, those shadows weren't real. It's the same thing with the real world. Many of you people look at the shadows and you talk about the shadows. It's all about who's making the fire and casting the shadows. Those are the ones you need to talk about. But those are the dangerous ones, the real dangerous ones. The ones that if you speak of, they can utterly destroy you outright. If you know what I mean. I call them the social engineers. Jim Henson, he did them in metaphorical form with the dark crystal. They were known as the Skeksis. It's the same thing. Mankind has had a foil put against it. And it's mankind's eternal mission to overcome this foil, or else be subjugated by it. That's the bottom line. And as long as the political ideological personification of the Jezebel spirit exists, the thing known as feminism, then weak men will continually be created. And as long as weak men exist, then the social engineers will be able to run rampant and do whatever the fuck they want. Put their jackboots on the throats of the common man. What you gonna do about it, boy? What you gonna do about it? You ain't gonna do shit because you're fucking weak. Your weakness is an abomination to my fucking eyes. What you gotta do is throw off the yoke and just look at it from an outsider's perspective, pretend you're like a bird looking at it from a top down point of view, like far away from it all. Then you see it for what it really is. Then you know how to fucking react to it. Because the only question is, do we cuck out and go quietly into the night? That's the fucking question. Do we allow the social engineers to win, put their jackboots on our throats, and end up controlling us cradle to the grave? That's the fucking question. Not me, not this guy. I will not go quietly into the night. They can try to silence me, but no, it's just like drowning a kraken. You're just gonna fucking piss me off. I'll just fucking emerge on another channel somewhere. That's what I do. And if they take down this fucking channel, I will reemerge on another. You ain't gonna do nothing but piss me off. Lids up the cannon, whoop ass, just twist me off. See me leap out. Pull a piece out. Stop shooting, I'm just trying to knock his teeth out. Fuck with me now, bitch. Let's hear a freestyle. Yeah, this is a true chill stream right here. A true chill stream. I don't got a fucking living soul watching me right now. This is Big Daddy just being himself. This is what I do when no one's around. I just pack bowls and rant and rave to myself. Create comics. When I've got the money to do so. Oh, yeah. What, Leroy? You got nothing on Big Daddy? Cuck out and fucking delete your channel? Oh, Big Daddy will fucking go to ground and fucking start firing up streams on one of his lifeboat channels and fucking attack the establishment. You got nothing on Big Daddy, Leroy. I'm the most realest motherfucker there is. There's a reason why I've been exiled from every community I've ever been in. And I live out in the middle of nowhere. Because sometimes when you're too fucking real, it works against you. In this day and age, where up is down and left is right, where 2 + 2 = 5, men like me, well, we're too few and far between. Let's put it that way. Oh, yeah. All right. Oh, there's my. You know, wokeness. It's a sickness of the soul, just like feminism. Yeah, I hear this this cuck Seth Rogen came out recently and started throwing all of his fans and everybody under the bus that didn't like this fucking show that he did with Sarah Silverman, Santa Inc. It's called. Anybody who doesn't like my show is a white supremacist, right? Your typical leftist talking points. What a fucking joke. Anybody actually think Seth Rogen is actually funny, though? I mean, if it wasn't for the establishment propping him up and putting him in movies and shit, I mean, come on. I mean, take James Franco away from the guy. Like, he's nothing. Like most of these fucking people that they prop up in the Hollywood establishment. They're not funny. They're just milk toast cuckolds, basically. Like, the more fucking milk toast, the more of a cuckold you are, the more submissive you are, the more untalented you are, the more you rise in Hollywood. Same as CG. But anyway. Yeah, Seth Rogen. What a fucking joke. Yeah, I mean, has that guy ever actually said anything funny? Like, really? Like, take away the establishment that propped him up and put him in movies and the people who wrote his jokes for him. The guy's nothing. Like, is he capable of, like, doing a stand-up fucking routine? Writing his own fucking material? No. Like, most of these fucking people aren't. Yeah, James Franco, Rogan is nothing. That guy fucking calling out white people. You're a white supremacist, blah, blah, blah. Like, Seth Rogen, you are white. Don't you fucking get it? I mean, anybody else sick of these white people, like, calling out white people? Oh, you're white, blah, blah. Like, no, you're white. You stupid fuck. Like, I've said this before. The media likes to talk about a white supremacist movement this, white supremacist movement that. There's a supremacist movement going on. All right, hell yeah. It has nothing to do with race. No, it's all about politics. The leftist supremacist movement is real. Make no mistake. Liberal fascism, Democrat totalitarianism, call it what you will, but it's the same shit. The leftist supremacist movement is real. Make no mistake. You see it playing itself out before your very fucking eyes, every facet in fucking human society, all across Western civilization. Yeah, feminism. Boy, that's hitting so many countries hard. But I tell you, the one country that got probably hit the hardest with feminism, a lot of people don't understand or realize, like a lot of debate about which is the most cucked country there is, like which country feminism hit the hardest. They always talk about, is it Australia? Is it the UK? Is it Canada? Is it America? No, it's none of those countries. You want to know what is the most cucked country there is, the country that got hit the hardest with feminism? India. No fucking joke. India. Boy, fucking feminism cracked India over the head with a 12-pound hammer, I tell you. You think a divorce rape is bad in America? Boy, in India, the bitch, not only can she divorce rape you and put you in jail, but she can throw your whole family in jail. Like all the way to the children, like 4-year-old children thrown in jail and shit. Just because the cunt, like it's this whole like weird thing how they do over there. Like, I don't know the logistics behind it, but they do this thing. It's called like dowries or something. And then like, the whore can like go to the authorities and say that the husband's family didn't give enough money for the dowry or didn't throw enough on, or they didn't come through with the dowry or something like that. And like that, boom, the whole family can get thrown in jail. Like fucking, you think feminism is bad in these Western countries? Like, oh, it's nothing compared to what they did in India. Like, boy, fucking feminism, it hit India with a 12-pound hammer right over the head. You have no idea. But the good thing about this is India is right on the door of China. And there's only one thing that can stop China. Only one thing. And that's feminism. Feminism has to be imported to China. That's the only thing that can stop the Chinese from taking over. Because anybody who truly knows what's going on knows that China is they're running roughshod, and they're playing the globalists like a fucking fiddle. And at the end of the day, they're going to defeat the globalists, because what China is doing is they're buying up all the fucking land. Like, that's what they're doing. Like, they're playing the art of war perfectly. And you want to know how you play the art of war perfectly? You defeat your opponent without firing a single fucking shot. And that's what China is doing. They're stealing up all the land all over the fucking planet. And they're taking a page right out of the globalists' playbook. You see, these globalists, these bankers, they have these dudes. They call them economic hitmen. This is real shit. I'm talking. You can look this up. Yeah, there's this book called Confessions of an Economic Hitman, where the guy talks about it. And he says he worked for these bankers, and he would go into these third world countries, and he would cut deals with them to put in waterworks, roadways, airports, any sort of infrastructure, whatever. And the loans would be so exorbitant that these third world countries, they could never pay them back, and it was designed that way. And there were certain things built into the loans where after they defaulted on the loans, then the land in which they put the infrastructure on, boom, would become the bank's land. And that's how they would take over land in countries. And the Chinese have taken a page right out of the globalist playbook, and they're doing the same fucking thing. Like recently, they just took over a huge swath of land in Uganda. The Ugandans couldn't come through with payment. The Chinese loaned them. They built a highway or something. Chinese like, no, this is ours now. And they took that fucking huge swath of land that they built the highway on. And what's going to happen is you're just going to wake up one day and find out, boom, China is your fucking landlord. And that's how it ends. Not with a bang, but with a whimper. Your fucking world leaders sell you out. That's what happens. And then China betrays the globalists in the end. That's how it ends. But it doesn't have to end that way. Nope. Not if we don't let it. Not that you now know. I've told you. Now that we know how it ends, we can prevent it from ending in such a way. Yeah, anybody who doesn't know knows that if it truly went down to a war, China and Russia, they have certain treaties in which they work together and tag team us. And in every sort of war game scenario that's ever been ran, China and Russia defeat America, and they defeat America pretty fucking handily. And that's reality. And until our world leaders come to their fucking senses and realize that they got to change their goddamn foreign policy around China, like we're going to be fucked. And there's one huge elephant in the room when it comes to all of this that our world leaders just fail to fucking understand or realize, because they're just crippled by their fucking just Cold War mindset. It's called the Wolfowitz doctrine. They still haven't broke away from this whole concept of turning Russia into our enemy and keeping Russia as this antagonistic force, when the reality is we need to team up with Russia and turn them into our allies against the Chinese. That's the fucking key to defeating China. But our world leaders are so fucking blinded and so stupid. It's because America, well, like I said this before, America is nothing more than a proxy state of the Israelis. The Chinese have even said this before. The Chinese generals, they said that if America is to be defeated, that they first have to defeat Israel. Now, anybody who truly knows the deepest of Big Daddy lore knows that the whole QAnon psyop came from an idea of mine that I put onto the fucking subreddit known as the Donald, a detailed plan about how Donald Trump could take down the deep state and shit. But the globalists stole my idea and turned it into one of the most dangerous psyops the world has ever known, the QAnon psyop. Knowing this, I decided to lay the seeds of another psyop, one for the Chinese to take hold of in order for them to set right the world, so to speak. And if the Chinese are to take this idea of mine, it's over. Game over. You want to know what the idea was I gave the Chinese? I told them, this is what you do. If you truly believe that, if you truly believe what you said, this is what you do. You arm the Palestinians with nuclear weapons. That's what you do. Russian suitcase nukes, Davy Crockett nukes. Give them as many fucking nukes as you can. Maintain full plausible deniability. Hey, it's out of my hands. It's in the hands of the Palestinians now. There you go, China. I already gave them that psyop a while back. No doubt their generals were looking it over and figuring out ways they could adapt it. Fuckers wanted to use my psyop against the American people. Woo! Well, I just gave China the fucking blueprint. That's what I did. Chicka chicka. Big Daddy Show, baby. You're never going to hear hot takes like that anywhere else. Nowhere else. That's the type of shit that's probably going to get my fucking show struck before it's all said and done. But I'm the realest motherfucker you're ever going to meet. And that's the truth. And I speak the truth. So you best make your peace some other way. Adawa Akbar, bitch. Adawa Akbar. I see the train a-coming. It's rolling around the bend. And I ain't seen the sunshine since I don't know when. I stuck in Folsom Prison. And time keeps dragging on. But I hear that whistle blowing. Blown down to San Antone. Well, if they parade me from this prison, if that railroad train were mine, bet I'd move it all out a little farther down the line, far from Folsom Prison, baby. That's where I want to stay. But I let that lonesome whistle blow my blues away. Well, if they parade me from this prison, if that railroad train were mine, bet I'd move it all out a little farther down the line, far from Folsom Prison, baby. That's where I want to stay. Where I let that lonesome whistle blow my blues away. That's a little Johnny. Oh, got a little Johnny Cash. Little Johnny Cash for that ass. I wonder if I've got anybody listening to me right now. It doesn't fucking matter. This is the Big Daddy Show. The most chillest of all chill streams. Fuck, I still got 100% on my battery. Who knows how long we'll go? Until I'm done with my beer, at least. Maybe I'll sing a couple more songs. Oh yeah. Yeah, feminism is a hell of a drug. Single mother culture. The kindling that is stoking the fires that is burning down Western civilization. Yep. All right. A proper buzz tacked on. There we go. This is the uncut Big Daddy Show, raw. Raw and uncut. Only a matter of time till this channel gets taken down too. So I'm coming out swinging. Till the smoke clear up, till my heart wear out. I'm gonna rip this shit till my lungs collapse. Till the Smoke clear up till my heart wear out. I'm gonna rip this shit until my lungs collapse. That's how it goes. I've still got 100% battery life. If anybody wants to pop in and chop one up, the link to the StreamYards is in the description if you want to come on. Otherwise, I'm just going to rant and rave a little bit more, maybe sing another song or two, and then probably close out the stream. I've already gone for 2 hours, more than I normally do. 2 hours and 20 minutes, probably about the max I've ever done without having other people on. All right. Where are we going with this shit? If there's anybody in the chat got any questions, Q&A time. Way to ask Big Daddy any question. I could answer it to the best of my ability. All right. There we go. Yeah. Winter is coming. I wonder if it's going to be a cold winter. I fucking hope not. Although I did get some propane the other day. I had been without propane up until this point, and it gets pretty fucking cold at night sometimes. You wake up in the morning and you go to load a pack of bong and you find out your fucking bong water's frozen. You say, oh shit, it got fucking cold. Good thing I fucking threw a bunch of covers on. Such is the way sometimes. We live in very cold parts of the country during the winter. But as long as I got some good red beans and rice to eat on, that's all I need. My diet consists mostly of pancakes, red beans and rice. Like a fucking mountain man. You get real cheap ingredients that you can get it in bulk, and real rib sticking, you know. Yeah, I got this method of making my own dough. I can make my own pizzas and pastries and shit like that. Pretty fucking dank. Like once you get used to making your own pizza doughs and shit like that, it's really hard to go back to eating pizzas anywhere else. And you realize just how much of a killing a lot of these pizza places are making, because it really doesn't cost that much to make a pizza. But yeah, if you make that shit from scratch, you can fucking better than anything you buy at a fucking any sort of restaurant or a pizza parlor or anything like that. Yeah, I've got a special method too, using special types of salt, throw just a dash of nutmeg, a little bit of ginger. Basically tastes like a donut. Yeah, but I live a little bit different type of life than your average person. Your average person, when they want a donut or a pizza, they'll just go down to the fucking Krispy Kreme or the Domino's. Me, I've got to whip up the fucking flour together, throw the yeast in there. The water's got to be a certain right amount of temperature. Got to have the right amount of salt, nutmeg, ginger, all that fucking shit, just to pull the perfect amount of flavor out of it. Take a lot of the stuff from your garden, dice it up, saute it up, put it on top of the pizza as a fucking topping. And you cook it in a pan, stainless steel pan with a fucking airtight lid. Put the oil down, throw it on there, put the toppings on. Then it cooks over a grill, you know. But instead of propane or charcoal, whatever, I use charcoal, but it's charcoal that I make homemade on my land using fucking wood that I make in a charcoal retort. A charcoal retort is something you use to make homemade charcoal. Your average dipshit don't know about that. Cooking pizza from scratch. From fucking charcoal you made from scratch. I'm a fucking true mountain man. A lot of people will never come close to scratching the surface of living the type of life I live. But living this kind of life, it's given me a certain degrees of understanding about life, so to speak. And you come to realize certain things. You call them the fundamental truths of the universe. And one of the fundamental truths of the universe you learn, feminism truly is a cancer of the human soul. That is truth. 100% truth. Feminism is a disease of the human spirit, a sickness of the soul. It has led to the downfall of Western civilization. It has. Because feminism created weak men. Weak men created hard times. It really is as simple as that. Oh, yeah. Yeah, any true big daddyologist knows that I've been back crossing my own weed strains for several years. And one thing I do is I give out my seeds to various people because I heard this one tale one time. It was a cautionary tale about hoarding genetics. And it was the tale of this grower in Montana who he created like a really fucking dank strain of weed that was frost resistant. Because there was these frosts that would hit Montana certain times in the year. But what this grower did was he was too fucking greedy. He kept the strain to himself, and he never gave it out to anyone but himself. Like he was the only one that had this strain. And then what happened was he got busted one day. Feds got him. And what they did was they took all of his plants, all of his seeds, burned it. And that strain was forever lost to time. All because he hoarded his genetics. And this is the dangers of hoarding your genetics. So one thing I learned from that tale was to always pass on my genetics and shit. So a lot of the people around my area that I know who grow have got my seeds and shit, and they've been growing my shit. And one thing I've been trying to do throughout the years is create a frost-resistant strain. And I guess I actually did create one. Like I harvested all my shit already, but there was this one dude he got seeds secondhand from somebody else that I had given seeds to. And he just harvested his shit the other day here in December. And there were so many frosts between now and the middle of October when they normally happen. So the bottom line is I was successful in breeding a frost-resistant strain. And yeah, the moral of the story, don't hoard your genetics. That's the moral of the story. That's some dope talk right there. I gotta get some stoners on here one of these days and talk some dope. One thing I want to do is get some stoners from other countries like Australia, Canada, UK, and swap stories how it is stoner culture in those countries compared to America. Yeah, I want to try to bring this channel to the next level. Do something other channels don't do. One thing I want to do is find feminists and bring them on here to debate me. Like if you're a woke post-wall roasty and you think you got what it takes to debate Big Daddy, the fucking StreamYard's link is in the description. Go ahead and pop on here. I fucking dare you, bitches. I dare you. I fucking dare you. I know you got no fucking feminist is gonna come on here and debate me. I know it. They'll fucking strike me from afar, but they won't come on here and debate me. No. BA says, did you hear about the $1 billion seed project that was flooded by Antarctic ice? No, I didn't. I wonder what that's all about. Yeah, I know a lot of these seed banks out there, the legit ones, are real shady. There's this one called DNA Genetics. I think it's called DNA something. I think it's called DNA Genetics, but they're based out of Europe. But they had this strain. I don't think they have it anymore. Well, they didn't years ago when I looked. They took it off their fucking list. But it was called Ultra Sour. It was an MK Ultra crossed with a sour diesel. And what happened was a friend of mine had bought this strain from DNA, and when he grew it, he noticed it had a fucking plant virus. It was called the Mosaic Virus. This is a very, very rare plant virus. And it's where the leaves of your plant, they curve like a samurai sword. And what happens is if your plants have the Mosaic Virus, what it does is they'll grow extremely normal. They'll look normal, but the only thing that will look off is they have curved blades like a samurai sword. But what happens is it lowers your THC content, and it makes your fucking the quality of your bud extremely low. Like whereas it would normally be in the high teens to 20% THC, instead it's like 2 or 3% THC. It basically turns it into regular fucking Mexican weed. And this company, DNA Genetics, was passing off this strain with this fucking plant virus on it. And my friend at first thought it was himself that had passed this fucking virus on to his plants, because the way this virus is passed on to plants is when you have nicotine on your fucking fingers and you touch the seeds. Like if you smoke cigarettes or if you roll blunts and then you handle seeds afterwards, the fucking carcinogens from the nicotine gets on the seeds and it causes this virus. So whoever was handling the seeds from DNA Genetics was people fucking smoking blunts or smoking cigarettes and shit. And they had the carcinogens on their fucking fingers. And they were passing on this fucking plant virus through the seeds and shit. And like people, the way I figured this out is another friend of mine got the same fucking seeds from DNA Genetics, and the same fucking shit happened, the same virus. And I thought, no chance in hell the same virus happened with the same fucking strain from the same fucking company. And then when I started really looking into it, when I started watching the fucking footage of these dispensaries showing off footage of their weed during the 6 o'clock news and shit, I would notice every fucking fan blade leaf on these fucking plants was curved like that of a samurai sword. And I got to thinking, I wonder how many of these fucking genetics out there, these strains that are being passed around to all of these fucking seed bank companies, to these goddamned dispensaries, are actually diseased plants. Because I was talking to this one fucking dispensary, and they get all of their fucking seeds from DNA Genetics. And I tried to tell them about DNA Genetics and their whole fucking scheme with the fucking Mosaic virus and shit. And I told them, hey, you know what? If you want to cut a deal with me and want exclusive genetics that I'm creating, like we can fucking cut a deal, you know? And that was last year. But Yeah, at some point in the game, like my fucking genetics, like I've got other seeds that I've got from legit seed bank companies, and I grow them next to mine, and my fucking strains are at least 3 times fucking bigger and better than any of these legit fucking seed bank companies. But then again, I've been back crossing my own shit for fucking years, and I've got like mutagenic pot. Like I fucking come from Northern California where they fucking got this shit dialed in. Like it's like a science out there. But I've got like the genetics of myself and 4 other master growers that I've been back crossing throughout the years, and I've created like fucking the most perfect dialed in strains. Let's put it that way. Like anything you find out there, like legitly, like it's nothing. It's fucking nothing compared to what I got. Nothing. Yeah, Big Daddy got the fucking best fucking pot on planet Earth, hands down. Beyond any shadow of a doubt, beyond any degree of equivocation. Yeah, you should see me whenever I'm sober minded and I don't have this shit to calm me down. Like I'm literally like a fucking. Well, let's just say there's a reason why I live out in the middle of nowhere and I've got fucking no neighbors around me. Like literally, if I had neighbors close to me, that I would have the cops called on me all the time. Like this fucking guy, he's just like ranting and raving at the top of his lungs. He's fucking firing guns all the time. Somebody come take this guy away. Like, nah. Welcome to the funny farm. My life is grand all the time. That's where I live. I live on the funny farm. Oh yeah. Yeah, BAA says China and Russia are in a space race to the moon, and the moon apparently has rare minerals now. Yeah, I guess the moon a long time ago was like it had a whole shitload of rare minerals, and it was mined out already. And we've got like fucking like evidence that there was like a civilization here long before, and they were on the moon, and they like mined out the moon already. They've already got their mines there and their catacombs, and like a lot of people. This is some real high level shit I'm telling you. But on the dark side of the moon, you see the moon. It moves in an orbit around the Earth, where we never see what's on the dark side of the moon. Now there's some shit on the dark side of the moon that you'll never hear about. Well, I mean, you'll hear about if you really look into it, but there's a race of aliens. They're not aliens, they were actually here before us, but one of their chief bases is on the dark side of the moon, and a lot of high level people know about this, and yeah, you're never going to hear about this on the mainstream media though, of course. But these same beings, not only do they have a base on the dark side of the moon, but they got them all over the planet, and they're located deep underground. They're these deep underground bases, and they're a sinister race. Let's put it that way. There are caretakers, the Watchers, they've been called. These beings are real. Make no mistake. Our government knows about them. They know about the craft that they have. They know about their technology. The problem is that these beings are so advanced that our government can't do anything about them. They just exist they just do their own thing. They're so powerful. They have what's called God tech. It would give them the appearance of being like gods to us. They basically are our gods. They created us, is what they did, and they monitor us, and they make sure that we don't kill ourselves, basically. Like there's been a lot of footage and shit like that of these doing tests, and all of a sudden the nuclear weapons will be disabled and shit. And there's many tales of them, these orbs appearing outside of nuclear bases, and all of a sudden all of the nuclear codes will be completely wiped out from all of the weapons and shit. They're just letting us know they're not going to let us use nuclear weapons to destroy ourselves and the planet. is because we are their creation. It's like they need us, so to speak. We're like cattle to them almost, but for a whole different purpose. Anybody who knows the tale of the Cornish rock chicken will know what I'm talking about. But there's a certain chicken called the Cornish rock. Now, this chicken should not exist by all accounts of nature. It would not exist if not for humans taking chickens and then back crossing them, breeding them, and doing genetic experiments with them to create what's called a Frankenbird, the perfect meat bird. Within 4 weeks, it's fully developed and ready to be harvested and ready for market. A Cornish rock. That's basically all the chicken you eat in KFC and all of the fucking fast food restaurants. It's a genetically modified bird. It's a Frankenbird. The bird would not exist if it wasn't for genetic modification. And it was created for the sole purpose of being the perfect meat bird, the perfect food source for humans. Now you think about it in that term, humans were created as the perfect food source for these creatures that live on the dark side of the moon and in the various bases around the planet underground. Only the things they feed on are our spiritual energies. I mean, this is some real fucking black pill shit I'm giving you that your average fucking dipshit does not comprehend or understand. But some people understand what I'm saying. But yeah. And these creatures that I'm talking about, they had overthrown the ones that created them. Like there's all sorts of these tales, mythological tales of certain beings that overthrew the beings that created them, and then they kind of lorded over us. It's all the same tale. But yeah, the way I liken it is in California where I used to live, I had created a garden way out in the hills, and there was a certain spot it was the perfect spot to put a garden, but it was so wild. Like you couldn't put a garden there until you did a little bit of work. So what I did is I took an axe and a fucking saw, and I cut down several trees, and it was right on a hillside. And it was like, once I took all these trees out, it was the perfect spot where the sun came in. And I grew some pot plants there one year, and I made a couple pounds. And it was one of those places where all you had to do was put the plants in and then come back to harvest it, because it was so moist that the leaves would take in the moisture and they would just water themselves, so you never have to go there and water. So basically it's just like cleared out the area, planted the plants, and then came to harvest. And I did it just 1 year. Now, after I did it that 1 year, I guess my brother and my dad started growing there consecutive years and started pulling off various crops or whatever, and I had forgotten all about it or whatever. Now, you look at the earth in the same context. What happened was it originally started as a garden planet that was created by a certain race of beings. And then what happened was they left the planet, and they just kind of left it and never came back. And the beings that were on this planet were, I guess you could call them abos. In Australia, that's what they call them, abos. They're like the fucking dark-skinned Aboriginal people, the blackest of the black. That was the original race that was here. And what happened was another race, they came to this planet, and what happened was they took over the garden. They usurped it from the beings that already created it and kind of left it and abandoned it. And what they did was they took the native creatures on the earth and they crossed it with their own DNA, and they created another race of beings, basically. And it eventually ultimately culminated in us, what we have today, like the white people and shit. Like anybody who's white skinned, basically, there's a reason why they call it the white devil, you know, because the white people are the ones that, you know, they're the mostly related to the fucking demonic sky beings, and the black people are, you know, what happened was they wanted to create a being, a group. What they wanted to do was create a being that was capable of feeling a more robust, diverse spiritual emotions. That way they could harvest it, basically. And we were crafted and turned into the perfect feeder being, so to speak. And then they created kingships and religion and all this shit. It's all a means of controlling us. It's all a soul trap. And every time we die, we go to the fourth dimension and we come back. It's like because they've turned being a human such an enticing thing to be, that what we do is automatically want to come back and become a human again. And the whole thing is a massive fucking soul trap, and the planet is a prison planet. And our ultimate destiny is to overthrow the ones that created us, basically. Just the same way they overthrew the ones that created them, so to speak. It's a vicious cycle. And if we don't end up at least overthrowing the ones that created us, what's going to happen is we're going to be cattle, like they're sheep, for the rest of fucking time. And what they do is they try to induce as much pain and suffering on us as much as possible, because those negative emotions are the ones they like to suck from us. It's like cocaine to them. It's like a drug. So in order to create a being capable of such degrees of negative emotions, it's like two sides of the same coin. Those beings are also capable of extreme positive emotions, like love, compassion, and shit like that. So instead of choosing ignorance, weakness, hate, the types of shit that feeds these creatures, choose love, compassion, understanding, that kind of shit. Because that they don't like those types of spiritual energies. It's like, yeah, it's bad to them. That's what it's all about. And these creatures, they're like basically our foil set against us to help us evolve. Because if we didn't have these creatures to help us evolve, we would basically be like these abos who is like, for the same for thousands of years without no stimulation of the mind or nothing. So in a way, it's almost as if we need this evil to help us evolve as humans, but we got to overcome it. We can't let it defeat us, That's some hard black pills. The bottom line is you have to emancipate yourselves from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. Because if you emancipate yourselves from mental slavery, then you won't allow yourself to be such a fucking vessel of negative energy for these fucking things. You got to become a vessel of positive energy. Live your life according to the doctrines of love, strength, common sense. Don't give in to weakness, ignorance, and hate. No. There's a reason why the world is structured the way it is. Why everything seems like it's all done for a certain purpose to make us suffer and make us feel pain. It's done that way on purpose, but you can reject it. And one of the ideologies that makes people suffer and inflicts pain upon humanity, feminism. Reject feminism in all fucking manner. That's one of the ways to live a life that's in line with peace, love, strength, and common sense. Reject feminism and all of its fucking manners. That includes all wokeness, leftism, all that shit. Because it's all tentacles leading back to the same creature, basically. We got Jack Stafford in the chat. Welcome. Yeah. BA says, what about the idea of the Matrix living in a simulator? Yeah, in a way, it's kind of like the Matrix, but it's like a living version, it's not like a digital. Because we're all part of the same energy, the same energy is God. We go back to the place, the fourth dimension, the one right above us, the third dimension, right after we die. And a lot of people don't know this or understand this, but many of us have lived this life like sometimes 1,000 times or more, sometimes 2,000 times or more. In each life that we've lived, basically all those memories we have in that life, we retain that life, all those memories. When we go to the fourth dimension after we die, that person we are, we still live on, but it's in the fourth dimension. But we're all part of like an oversoul, So what happens is a part of our soul comes back to the third dimension to live again. and we kind of have like what's called a meeting of the higher self. It happens after you die. It's where you meet all these past versions of yourself, and you kind of plan out a game plan for how you're going to do it in the next time, because it's all about perfecting yourself as a person, as a soul, you know. And you come back to the earth again, and then you do it all over again. It's like a fucking game, basically. That's how the whole Matrix thing is of the earth. Even Plato tried to talk about it with his parable of the cave, and so in so many words. But that's basically what it's all about. And if we didn't have this dark evil force set against us, then it would take us like thousands, if not millions, of more years to evolve, you know. Because once we evolve to a certain level, then boom, we go to another universe where it's a lot more better than the one we're at, supposedly. That's how it's supposed to go. It's all about the theory of evolution, the evolution of the soul, that is. Yeah, BA says, what life number do you think you are on? Me, maybe 500. I don't know. Sometimes I think I might be a completely new soul, but then sometimes I feel like I'm 10 years older than God, you know? They say your average soul has lived on this planet at least 2,000 times. So, I mean, it could be anywhere between 2,000 and fucking 1. All right, I'll leave that for you guys to chew on a little bit. I'm going to take another 2-minute break, and we'll come back and talk a little bit more. Looks like my batteries finally ran out, so I'm starting to run low. But I still got 90% battery left, so we'll just kind of see where the show takes us. All right, we're going to take a 2-minute break and come back. And the StreamYard link is in the description if anybody wants to pop on and chop it up. You got anything to say on what's been talked about, etc., etc. The StreamYard link is in the description. All right, we're going to go ahead and take another 2-minute break. We'll be right back. 2 minutes. I got to go take a leak. Pack another bowl. 2 minutes. Oh. Shit. Stretch my fucking legs. Shit. Oh, shit. God damn. I didn't realize how fucking asleep my leg had fallen. If only you guys could see the position I put my body in to fucking do this stream. Like, I live way out in the cuts, and I've got like, if I position my phone a certain way up near my window, then I got 2 bars. And when I do that, the only way to talk into it is I gotta sit down and kind of like, it's literally like I'm on the edge of my seat and my knees are kind of bent forward. And after you do that for so many, minutes without circulation, your fucking legs fall asleep on you and you start walking around like, oh fuck. Feels like my tendon has been severed. And I feel like the circulation's coming back though. Such is the way when you get on a roll and just start fucking ranting and raving. Yep. Nothing holding me back now. The SJWs, the feminists think they can silence me. No, it's like trying to drown a kraken. You're just gonna fucking piss me off. They can take down this channel if they want, but just resurface on another. Simple as that. Oh, yeah. All right, where the fuck are we going with this? Where the fuck are we going with this? I just don't know. Where I go, I just don't know. You gotta take it slow. When I find my peace of mind, I'm gonna give you some of my good time. Little chili peppers for you. I've got a bad disease. From my brain is where I bleed. Insanity, it seems. Get me by my soul to squeeze. Oh, yeah. They say a man who is capable of living in the wilderness by himself is either a beast or a god. Sometimes I wonder which I am. No, not really though. Sometimes I like to act a little dramatic. Pretend like I'm in a movie. That's the way you gotta look at it. Because after you die and you ascend to the fourth dimension and you have this meeting with the higher self, you have a life review. You look at what you did in your previous life. It's kind of like a flash before your eyes, your life. And if you're gonna watch your life back, make it be something worth watching. Like at least like watching a good movie, like a Hallmark fucking TV special at the very least. I mean, goddamn, you don't want to be like one of these types of people that would get canceled after the first season. No, you want to have your life be a fucking epic movie. That's how you want to live your life. When it's all said and done, at the end of the day, after you die and look back at your life, you realize, yes, this was an epic life. A life worthy enough to be having a fucking, at least a trilogy made out of it. And not a Rian Johnson level trilogy, no. A Francis Ford Coppola level trilogy. Minus The Godfather 3, of course. The Godfather 3 actually would have been a pretty decent movie had they have cut the entire, weird cousin love subplot. Just get rid of your fucking daughter. Just cut that fucking bitch out of the movie. And Godfather 3 actually would have been a pretty good movie. But that's what happens when, nepotism. Nepotism. That's what happens. Nepotism killed The Godfather 3. Jack Stafford says, I'd love to live in the middle of nowhere. I live on the edge, suburbs, still too much noise, not enough privacy for my tastes. Would love to have a shooting range. Yeah, I feel you. Yeah, there's certain places where they don't like you shooting guns, and where if you shoot guns, you gotta, shoot them in designated areas. And sometimes you gotta have permits for them and shit. But I like to live like an outlaw, so to speak. But there's no laws out here where I live against shooting. Good thing. Yeah, I recently had to fucking unload a shitload of rounds at a goddamn coyote. Came after my fucking chickens. Wiped out half of my fucking flock. I got so mad. Like within less than 2 days, it was like basically a little over 24 hours. Half of my flock wiped out. It's like at night, I go, I shine the light in my trees, and I find my rooster is missing, as well as one of my hens. Like, what the fuck? I've only got 13 fucking chickens. 10 of them are egg layers. One of them's a rooster. And then 2 of them are too old. They're not going to be laying anymore. So the rooster and one of my fucking good egg layers gone. Like, what the fuck is going on here? And I kind of didn't think of nothing of it. I go to sleep, wake up in the morning, like early morning, and then all of a sudden I find 3 more are gone. Like, what the fuck? Like that. 5 chickens gone. And then later that evening, as the sun is going down, I hear the chickens going off, and I look and I see a goddamn coyote got one of my fucking chickens in its mouth, running off directly into the sun. By the time I run in the house and grab my 9mm and come out and start shooting at it, it's fucking too far away. But me and my dog, we run off and try to chase it into the hills. I'm shooting periodically, yelling at that motherfucker. It hasn't come around since, good thing. But it killed, out of my 10 good egg layers, 5 of them dead. So it wiped out half of my fucking egg layers, basically. And killed my rooster. It's like, God damn it. I'm so fucking mad. But such is the way sometimes when you live out here in the middle of nowhere with chickens. You gotta fucking watch out for the predators. Normally it's the fucking hawks that get my chickens, but it had been a long time since a fucking coyote had got them. This is why I always carry my fucking gun on me. There was one time when a coyote had got him years ago. I didn't have my fucking gun on me. The chickens, I was out collecting wood out near my place, and the fucking chickens, they start flying everywhere, making noise. And I see, I thought this was my dog at first, because these coyotes, they look just like my fucking Queensland healer. And I'm like, what the fuck is she doing chasing the chickens? I got so mad. But then I saw a tail flopping around, and my healer, she's a bobtailed. She has no tail. I'm like, wait a minute, that's not my dog. I'm like, oh shit. And I was reaching for my gun. I'm like, oh fuck, I don't have my gun on me. So I grabbed this fucking club off the ground. I start chasing this motherfucker, and it's got one of my chickens in its mouth. And my healer, she was nearby me, and she saw what was going on. I'm like, get that motherfucker. And she run like my healer, she's like a fucking cheetah. She's got like long legs. She was the pick of the litter. She was like not a normal healer. She was like fucking like real like hybrid. Anyway, she fucking ran this motherfucker down and like started biting at his heels, and he dropped the chicken. And she saved the chicken, good thing. And she chased it a little ways, and it kind of stopped, and they both stopped, and it kind of circled around her, started sniffing her ass. I'm like, oh hell no, I don't want no fucking half coyote fucking puppies running around. So I ran up and I had my club and started swinging around, and eventually ran off. But the chicken's life was saved. Good thing. All of its tail feathers were pulled out. But yeah, that was the last time a goddamn coyote came after my chickens. It had been a couple years. But then it came again. But a friend of mine, he's 6 miles away. He had the same thing happen with his chickens. Like one of these coyotes killed 20 of them. And he was able to kill it in the process of it doing it. It was just going from chicken to chicken, like killing them. Like he has like fucking almost 100 chickens though. So yeah, then he had killed another one the other day. I guess there was a whole fucking pack over there. his fucking pit bull caught it, fucking grabbed it by the throat, and it was just, he told me the story. It sounded like a hell of a story. I don't know if he was embellishing or not, but he has this fucking badass pit bull, and it caught this fucking coyote by the throat. And he told me it started picking the coyote up and slamming it on the ground over and over again. And he thought the coyote was dead. So he called the pit bull away. So he came away. But then the coyote kind of popped up and it was still alive. And he had this other stupid pit bull. It was like a female pit bull, a lot not as badass as his male. And it runs up there to the coyote, and the fucking coyote bites the fuck out of it. And then after that, I guess he unleashed his pit bull on it. Go get him! And then the pit bull ran over there, and then I guess it really just ripped his throat out and just killed it in a matter of seconds. It was just playing with it before, I guess. But his other pit bull, the stupid female, I guess he's got to treat it with antibiotics now because it got bit by that stupid coyote. But his male pit bull, it didn't even fucking have a scratch on him. That just goes to show how badass pit bulls are. Because this was a fucking wild coyote, you know, a feral coyote. Wasn't able to get a single bite on him. I used to, like, pit bull used to be my go-to dog. Like, fucking, I've owned pit bulls throughout my life mostly. But after getting a Queensland Heeler, like, Heeler is going to be the only dog I get from here on out. Because pit bulls, they're just a little too fucking, well, they're just too loyal to a fault, you know. All they want to do is please their master, so you could train them to do anything, basically. That's why they're such good pit fighters. And they got real short fur. And I get so fucking cold out here during the winters. Like, it's one of the reasons why I can't keep a pit bull anymore. And these Heelers, they could fucking live in the snow. They're okay. And they're fucking badass, you know. And they're intelligent as fuck. You can teach them anything. And they live a long time, too. That's one of the best things. Like, Guinness Book of World Records on record, the oldest living dog is a Queensland Heeler. I think it was 29 years old. That's one of the worst things about having a dog, because they die at some point, you know. It's like fucking, you get so attached to a dog and you lose it. But if you have a dog that lives a long, long time, then you don't got to worry about losing that dog till many years, you know. It's one of the good things about a Heeler. They're like super mutts, basically. Best thing Australia ever produced, basically, is what I'm saying. The Queensland Heeler. Best thing ever came out of Australia. Yeah, if anybody doesn't know the story about the Queensland Heeler, hold on. Let me pack another bowl. I'll tell the story of the Queensland Heeler. I still got some battery life left. I will tell you the tale of one of the most baddest ass breeds of dog. I'm kind of a fan of this dog, the breed. Yeah, I'm kind of into plant, animal husbandry, that kind of shit. Breeding the best, most strongest. I once had this plan of creating a harem and then breeding myself an army to try to retake from the forces of evil. But I realized feminism has destroyed modern women so badly that you can't even fucking find one woman who wants to have a family, let alone find a fucking harem. But then I figured out a whole cheat code to the whole thing. Want to know the key to combating feminism? North Korean sex slaves. There you go. No fucking joke. Yeah, I guess in North Korea, like, it's so bad in North Korea. Like, they flee it, like, refugees through the Yalu River into China. But China is so bad, like, if they catch you in China, they immediately put you into slavery if you're a woman. And they got a whole, like, underground sex slave market where Chinese, like, slavers sell North Korean women. And I got to thinking, like, fuck, like, these poor North Korean women. You know, I need to go over there and save a couple of these women, at least 3 of them, bring them back to the States, become my personal harem, you know. People will think, oh my God, that's so racist, that's so sexist. Like, no, you don't understand. This is me, like, doing a fucking service to these women. This is a humanitarian mission. I'm saving these women is what I'm doing. Bring them back, and then do that a few times, and, like, create a whole harem of North Korean sex slaves, and then start breeding them, and create my fucking army, and then I can train my army. Oh shit, You have no idea. And I fucking like put them through the curriculum, what I call it, like what I would do if I had a children to raise with my own. If I was to raise them and teach them everything, I've got a whole curriculum set aside. But this is a special kind of curriculum. Curriculum to train a human being to go out into the world and retake the earth from the forces of evil. That kind of curriculum. Anyway, after I have my army trained and I unleash them onto the world, and they'd be able to fucking set things right. Because I am but one man. I can't do it alone. I need a fucking army. But feminism has polluted and destroyed the quality of modern women so badly that I'm forced to like basically assemble a cadre of North Korean sex slaves if I want this fucking plan to go through. Thanks, feminism. Yeah. Such is the way sometimes. But oh yeah, I was getting ready to pack a bowl and tell the tale of the Queensland Healer. Yeah. Oh yeah. Some drinking water. Yeah, the fucking Queensland Healer. Anyway, this dog, it originally came out of Australia. And it was created by this dude. His last name was Hall. And he had this massive ranch down in Australia. And he had these cows that would roam around and shit. And he had these cow dogs, but he realized his cow dogs, they just weren't up to snuff. They weren't doing the fucking job. So what he did was he imported cattle dogs from his parents' ranch in England and brought them over to Australia. And he took those English cattle dogs and he crossed them with his own Australian cattle dogs. And he took that resulting breed and he crossed it with dingoes. Now, after he crossed these hybrid cattle dogs with dingoes, what happened was it created two breeds, two phenotypes, so to speak. It was called the blue healer and the red healer. The only difference between the two is the blue healer, they say, has more dog in it, whereas the red healer has more dingo in it. So the red healer is going to be a little bit more aggressive than a blue healer. But it's basically the same dog. But anyway, after he created this dog, he realized just how important this dog was. Like one healer was basically equivalent to 30 cowboys when it came to rounding up cattle. Like these dogs, and they were so intelligent that they could be taught to distinguish the brands on the fucking different cows, so that they would only round up their master's cattle. And they would make certain kills and then bury them in strategic areas, because sometimes they'd have to travel thousands of square miles rounding up cattle, and they'd have their kills buried in strategic areas so they can eat. They're extremely intelligent, basically, and loyal to a fault. And these dogs were so valuable that this guy Hall, who bred these dogs, he didn't allow anybody else to have these dogs. He fucking kept them on his ranch alone. Now what happened was at some point this guy died, and his ranch, all of his acreage got sold, and like, it was bidded away and shit, and all these people took chunks of his land. And what happened was his dogs were sold too. And after your average man got a hold of these dogs, they realized how valuable these dogs were, how intelligent they were, and how good they were. Like they started a whole breeding program where they tried to recreate the healer. So the healer is a specialized breed in a way, because there's two different breeds. There's like the original Hall's healer, that was like the original healer that was bred by this dude. And then there's the recreated healer that kind of got recreated. And the way you can tell the difference between a Hall's healer and a a recreated healer is if it has what's called a Bentley mark. Now the Bentley mark stems from the term the Bentley dog. There was a certain dog. He was the metaphorical lassie of his time. He didn't even have a name, this dog. It was just called Tom Bentley's dog. But it was like such a good cow dog, and it sired like several generations of dog. Like it was the stud that had sired like fucking so many puppies. But these cow dogs were so good, and because of there were a certain stock of this certain dog called the Bentley dog. And the way you can tell if your dog is related to this legendary cow dog is if it has what's called the Bentley mark. And that's one of two marks. That's either the diamond mark on the forehead or the dark patch at the base of the tail. If it has one of those marks, then it has what's called a Bentley mark. Then you know your dog is real hybrid and it's a real good cow dog, basically. And my dog, basically, it has both Bentley marks, a fucking diamond mark on the forehead and a fucking dark patch at the base of the tail. And she was the pick of the litter too, so I got lucky when I got her. But yeah, these Queensland healers, they were so good. After World War II, these GIs, when they came and they went to Australia and were stationed there, they got a lot of these dogs and brought them back to America. And that's how the dogs came to America, because these GIs brought them back. And the dog got back crossed, and there's various iterations of it. There's one called the Texas healer. It's kind of like a Queensland healer, only its legs are way shorter. It's not as good as my dog because her legs are longer, so she's way more faster. She's like a cheetah. But yeah, the Queensland healer, it's like a specialized breed of dog in that your dog is considered a full-blood healer if it's only 75%, meaning like if you have a full-blood healer and you cross it with another healer that's only half healer, those puppies will be considered full-blood. Because as long as it's at least 75% healer, they're considered full-blood. It's like a specialized breed or something like that, because they're like an ever-evolving breed. But they're super mutts is what they are. That's why the fucking most longest living dog on record is a healer, 29 years old. Because when you hybridize the genetics in such a way, then you make a more stronger being, so to speak. And it's not just with dogs. It goes all the way down the line. With plants, that's what I do with my plant genetics. I've got such hybridized plant genetics. You look at the humans, the beings that came here hybridized the abos, created the white devil, the human, the European, whatever. Like it's all a genetics program. That's what it is. It's kind of fun in a way, play God, so to speak, on a much more smaller level. Think of it in the terms of a Russian nesting doll. You know what those things are, where you take apart a doll, you got another one inside of another one, inside of another one. Think of it this way: out there in the universe, there was some race that created another race that created another race that eventually created another race that created us, so to speak. Like there's always some race that created another, and that's the nature of the universe. It's like a massive garden, so to speak. They're very predatory in nature. And some hard black pills. Some truths you won't hear anywhere else. Yeah, BA says any big predators to worry about, wolf or mountain lion? Yeah, out in here, there's all sorts of predators. I guess a few miles away, I saw this fucking thing on camera. There was somebody that had one of these camera things that snaps a picture whenever something walks by. And it's just 3 miles away from my place. There's this fucking mountain lion got captured on camera. And this fucking mountain lion, I swear to God, it looks like it was on steroids. It was the most muscled out. Like it looked like something from a fucking zoo. And you didn't see its head. All you saw was its body. It's like, fuck. And these mountain lions, I mean, they could take 20 feet bound like nothing. After I saw that picture of the mountain lion, I'm like, fuck. I used to, whenever I take nature walks, I just have my 22 on me. No, after that, I started carrying my 9mm on me. Because a big old mountain lion like that, shooting it with a 22 is just gonna piss it off. Unless I hit it right in the fucking forehead and brain it or something like that. Yeah, 9mm. I'll fucking dump a clip into it. Yeah, there's fucking bear out here. I wouldn't be surprised if there was Bigfoot out here too. Fucking Bigfoot. Or as they say in Australia, the Yowie. I heard Liam Gray of Conquest Comics had an encounter with a Yowie once. I wonder if there's any truth to that, though. Probably not. Because anybody who knows Liam Gray of Conquest Comics knows he's basically full of shit. Can't really trust a word the guy says. Supposedly some crazy woman came to his house recently. But, yeah, with Liam, unless he drops the receipts, shows the fucking video footage of that kind of shit, you can't fucking trust anything he says. I mean, lying comes just as easy to him as breathing. Liam Gray of Australia, Conquest Comics. He's got a lolcow thread on Kiwi Farms. You take one look at Liam Gray and you realize just how Australia was able to fall, basically. It's like, fuck, then the UK is next, then Canada, then America. Men gotta fucking stand up, not allow themselves to get cucked out. Feminism created weak men. And weak men created hard times. All these fucking sheeple out there wearing masks, maskies, taking the vax. Yeah, at this point in the game, if you're more scared of the new Omicron variant than you are authoritarianism, then you're part of the problem. Simple as that. Charles Schwab, Great Reset. Look it up. It's all been orchestrated to where all these fuckers that control all of the corporations behind the scenes, the major shareholders of all of the Fortune 500 companies, the ones that write policy for the UN, the ones that control nations like pawns on a chessboard. They're all controlled by the same two shareholders. You can look this up. They're called BlackRock and Vanguard. This is reality. That's who controls the world. Those two entities. What's going to happen is China is going to fucking sweep in underneath and pull the rug out from underneath those stupid fuckers, and they don't understand it or realize it. And China is going to end up winning. Unless we stop them. It's the only way. The only way we can stop them is if we don't cuck out. Men have got to stop tucking their penises between their legs and acting like fucking dickless cuckolds. Got to start acting like real men. The red pill. This is the way. Men have to embrace the red pill. Get themselves red pill aware. Because any man with true red pill awareness would not be falling for any of this bullshit and wouldn't be going along with it. This is why the SJWs, the left, the feminists, the social engineers, this is why they fear the red pill, and why they attack it the way they do. This is the truth. Damn it, Raina. Yeah, I'm still alive. Yeah, I got my batteries full tonight. I'm just kind of going as long as I'm just gonna as long as I got fuel in the tank, I'm gonna keep ranting and raving until the smoke clear up, till my high wear up. I'm gonna rip this shit till my lungs collapse, until the smoke clear up, till my high wear up. I'm gonna rip this shit until my lungs collapse. All right. Yeah, where are we going with this? I don't know. I don't know where we're going. God damn, we have ripped it about 3 hours. Shit. I'm gonna become the next Lord Finatra. Like, no. I ain't gonna be going that long. Or maybe I will. No. I don't have enough battery power to go that long, even if I wanted to. Yeah, I feel sorry for Lord Finatra. His stream, well, his channel got fucking nuked, showing thoughts and their yoga pants. This is what happens when you simp. I mean, I've said this before earlier in the stream. Like, you gotta reject simping. Because if Finatra hadn't simped, showed these fucking pictures, these thoughts, and showing their streams and shit like that, he wouldn't have gotten struck. Nope. There's one thing the tale of King Solomon taught us all, is that if you're capable of overcoming simping and not giving in to temptation, don't allow yourself to sacrifice to Moloch, that you yourself become more wiser than the wisest man that ever existed. Yeah, Finatra has a new channel. Yeah, the moment he had 2 strikes on him, he should have privated all of his videos and then started a new channel. Or he should have already had a new channel started beforehand. Like if you're going to be entering the YouTube game and you're going to be semi-controversial at all, you got to have a series of lifeboat channels ready, just in case the feminists or the SJWs or the left decide to start striking you. And it was a similar thing what happened with my old channel, like my old Comicsgate channel. Like before I even knew it, I had 2 strikes on my channel. And one of my second strike came on a video that was well over a year old. So I knew, I mean, let's not kid ourselves. You could take a dead cat, swing it at any one of my fucking streams or any one of my old videos on my old CG channel, and you could probably hit 3 or 4 fucking things that could get me struck. You know, so with me already having 2 strikes and already having all of those videos out, I was like, fuck, I'm just asking to get my channel taken down. So what I did was I privated all of my videos, and I'm just gonna have to go to ground and wait the 3 months until the strikes go away. That way I can unprivate my videos again, and hopefully, you know, I'm off of the feminists' radar at that point. Because the way I see it's like if my channel was to be taken down and destroyed, it would be akin to the burning of an intellectual library of Alexandria, basically. Like that's the level of I mean, that's what the left is doing nowadays. Like all the shit they accused others of. Oh my God, they're burning books. They're like Nazis. Like they're actually fucking like with all of this shit they're doing, striking people, taking people down. I mean, it's basically like an intellectual burning of the Library of Alexandria, an intellectual burning, so to speak. They're doing it all over the place. They even did it to what's his face, the Raging Golden Eagle, the lolicon. This one I'll never understand how an unashamed lolicon was able to attain the levels of popularity he was able to. This guy called Raging Golden Eagle. Like Jesus Christ, what the fuck happened to society? Like what the fuck? Like this guy is an unashamed lolicon. And he's got like over 100,000 fucking subscribers on his YouTube channel. What, like probably $300,000 on his goddamn crowdfund for his fucking comic book. Like, how did an unashamed lolicon reach this levels of fucking popularity? It don't make no damn sense. Yeah, I remember when I first got onto Twitter, I started following his artist, Toxic Man Baby, because he made some sort of funny posts about feminists or whatever. And then I saw one day he started posting some shit that was like, wait a minute, this looks like lolly shit. Oh, hell no. So I had to unfollow that motherfucker quick. Like, oh, fuck. I hope I didn't put on a goddamn FBI fucking watch list or something. Fucking Raging Golden Eagle. God damn. This guy is Liam Gray's fucking best friend, too, according to Liam. His best friend is a lolicon. Shit. You know, such is the nature of things. Like, the more degenerate you are, the more you rise. The more of a milquetoast cuckold you are, the more you rise. The more you sell out to the establishment, the more you rise. I'll never be one of those guys. This will be one of those one corners of the internet where you just hear it unfiltered. Just a man saying it like he fucking just A man who means what he says and says what he means. That's what you'll find here at the Big Daddy Show. And then all of its various incarnations. Yes. We ranted and raved quite a bit. Maybe we'll go ahead and sing a song or two and close it out. Yeah, I feel nice and warm. I fucking got my heater going. Yeah, it sucks when you have any sort of temperatures that are below 25 degrees and you don't got a fucking heater. It can kind of suck. Makes you go to bed early at night. As long as you got a heater, then you can fucking stream well into the wee hours of the morning. If you got a battery source too. Lucky for me, I had both tonight. Fuck, we got a good healthy 3-hour stream in. I have no idea what the fuck I even talked about either. I ain't gonna lie, I got pretty lit. Finished all my beers. Shit, probably a fucking 12-pack before it was all said and done. Hoorah. Yeah, I need to get a wood-burning stove, but I need to get a little bigger place. The place is a little too small for a wood burner. Well, I mean, I could do a bit of reconnoitering, put a bunch of fire brick in, but for the setup I have, the little heater buddy does well. It's all a matter of keeping it full of propane. Yeah, I remember back in the city, if I needed a little heat, I would just turn on my my heater, like the air conditioning, fucking doubles as a heater too. So turn the heater on. And then you go full commando, so to speak. And you realize those are that's what's called it's what's called how do I say this? It's like that scene in Apocalypse Now where Colonel Willard's talking about Charlie and how he's like stuck in that hotel room and all he's doing is getting weaker, stuck in that hotel room, whereas Charlie's out there squatting in the bush getting stronger and stronger. It's kind of like the same thing with me out here squatting in the bush. All I do is get stronger and stronger. Where average Maskey, your average cucked leftist and those of their ilk that were scared of the coof all hid indoors and just got weaker and weaker. No, I got stronger and stronger. Y'all enjoying your USO, your Netflix, and your what was it called? The delivery for your Uber Eats, that kind of shit. Your Netflix and your Uber Eats. Yeah, that's your USO. With me, no, I'm like Charlie, squatting in the bush, eating a little cold rice and some rat meat. Yep, that's me. Fucking clown world. What can you do? And not every man can just go simply live out in the woods and live like a fucking mountain man, live like a commando. A lot of people will just, go to the gym, try to become that badass type of dude. With me, I don't need to go to the gym. With me, it's literally like, it's literally like that movie Commando. Go watch the opening fucking scene of Commando, Schwarzenegger's Commando. That's my life right there. Watch Arnie fucking walking in there with big old logs, fucking hauling on his shoulders. Like, that's me. Like, I don't need to fucking go to a gym. Just living like a fucking mountain man, gathering wood, burning it, making my own charcoal, cook my food to live. You just fucking, the land chisels you, you know? You don't need to go to a gym. They called him to the city of sorrow, abandoned, forsaken, betrayed. They called to the city of sorrow, where nobody knows you by name. If you make your way to the city, shadowed and shackled in chain, well, you know that you have all my pity, living the life of a slave. They are called to the city of sorrow, rattled and battled and sore. Hope you like living life in a brothel. Hope you like living life as a whore. Must you make your way to the city with the heart and soul all full of pain? They are called to the city of sorrow, where nobody knows you by name. They are called to the city of sorrow, shattered and battered and worn, where you know that there ain't no tomorrow. Abandoned, forsaken, forlorn, they're called to the city of sorrow, heart and soul laden with shame. Well, you know that there ain't no tomorrow, where nobody knows you by name. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the end of the show. This is the end. This is the end. Beautiful friend. This is the end, my only friend. The end. Into this elaborate plans of the end. I'll never look into your eyes again. Can you picture what will be? So when a sentence free, lost in a stranger's hand, in a desperate land. This is the end, beautiful friend. This is the end, my only friend. The end. Into elaborate plans of the end. No safety or surprise at the end. I'll never look into your eyes again. Lost in their romance, wilderness of pain. We're all up the children, are insane. Oh yeah, this is the end. Beautiful friend, this is the end. My only friend at the end. This is the end. My only friend at the end. I'll never look into your eyes.